All right, yeah.
Are we good?
We're definitely back now.
Yeah.
For sure. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for putting up with that for a second. I'm just gonna do everything I just did. Hi, I'm Salvatore. I'm the Dungeon Master here at A Little Dicey. This is episode 27. We're doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. If you're watching this on a VOD, you will literally see this first and nothing before this that happened.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. It was coming jizz everywhere.
We had a shot.
Yes!
We had a real shot.
No, bringing it around. I have to stick with it. We made a joke and I'm sticking to it. Garrett, you want to just run it back on the social media real quick?
What's up, guys? I'm Garrett, and I've never Googled boobs or girls kissing. I never have. we have social media. Sure.
What's up, y'all? I'm Garrett, and I'm abstinent till I die.
Those are my top 2 searches in my history. It's just boobs and girls kissing. That's the funniest thing a 35-year-old man can Google. Just girls kissing.
Please interact with me on Twitter. Right now, the only person who does is Dom, and it's just to remind me that he doesn't know who I am. Dom, we're friends, and I know that about us.
That's so funny.
We have an Instagram where I'll just sometimes post cool, fun shit, and other stuff is also on there. YouTube, TikTok, social media. You get it. We're also an interactive stream. Most of you know this already, but you can go through the Twitch UI and spend gold coins or whatever the fuck, and make it
disrespectful. Where the fuck this thing is?
Do you want me to announce them, or do you want to critique me?
Sorry, continue, of course.
I'll talk about this later.
You're going to your room.
If you use the Twitch interface, you can make us do a lot more than we do through Steam Elements. Stream Elements. Steam Elements would be a different thing.
That's where you go to make us do things, as you said.
True. You could suggest things that we do, and we take that into consideration.
I'm gonna count that on the. If you're doing the bingo again, just for funsies, that counts. That's Matt calling.
Why'd you put it back on me, Michaela? What up, y'all?
If you already have the points, you can always do exclamation point points or redeem, and that stuff is usually fun, but less intense than the stuff that you can do through Twitch directly. You can suggest we drink. You can give our DM disadvantage.
Wait, no, I don't like that.
I even gave you time.
Shut the fuck up.
You know what? Fine. We're moving on. Interact with our stream. We love you.
That was nice.
Throw one more thing.
Throw 2 more things.
Oh, okay, but at the same time.
Hey, we got a Discord.
Matt, save us.
Go there. Interact with us there. Currently, we're using it for our. Oh my God, it's a card. I'm just gonna read this card. Charmed. A charmed.
You're charmed.
Oh, I've been charmed. We use it for our polls to see what Sal and I talk about on the pod. Currently, I believe monks and paladins are tied for the lead.
They are.
So if you would prefer us to talk about monks, vote for them. Paladins, vote for them. Or girls kissing, you can write that in.
I'd like you to talk about girls kissing, please. My favorve class in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
The mechanics fulfill the fantasy, let me tell you.
They certainly do.
So yeah, come hang out with us there.
And as always, be sure to check out our friends at Super OK, who are to be found at superokpodcast.com. Is that right?
Yeah. Well done, Jamie.
And
Dale can correct us in the chat because he's here.
Also, our friend of the show, Aaron, can be found on Twitch at Little Bog Witch, and our moderator, Michaela, can be found on Twitch at Hello Diddy.
Hell fucking yeah. Good shit. All right, let's go back to full real quick just so I can readjust the camera. And actually,
it looks gorgeous.
Oh my God! Wow, I'm a fucking animal. All right, cool. Well, like I said before, but I was muted beforehand, so you didn't know this. But we run our Tuesday show, A Little Dicey reroll, so that you guys can catch up on what happened last week. We did a little bit of a bingo episode yesterday, which was I was told was hilarious. I got to see some of the bingo cards at the end in the Discord, and they what was included on there were both hilarious and
disrespectful.
very disrespectful to me. Yeah, so I understand.
Yeah, that was all Mika.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Well, Mika, you're fucking fired. Anyway, so no. I rehire you and whatever.
Thank God you said that.
That's it. But no, so I'm not going to do too much of a recap in the sense of what I used to do. You can check out Reroll on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever the fuck we go up live. So, but without further ado, players, do we have any comments, questions, concerns, queries about what we might be getting into right now, or we're good to go?
I'm just going to say, come and jizz again.
Busting all over my face and mouth. Amazing.
Jesus.
I can't wait till we get offered another sponsorship.
Yeah. I didn't know Pornhub did sponsorship.
Girls kissing, baby.
One of their highest keywords.
So good. It's just me 99 million times. Fresh. Anyways.
I need more content.
Goddamn. Sort by new. Okay. All right.
It'd still just be dudes' dicks if you start.
I know, man, every time. And it's just like, that's cool, I guess, but I'm here for girls kissing. Yeah, I'm 27. All right, so when last we met, you all had finally concluded in an epic battle against Lord Ilan Thorn, the sovereign ruler of ABERL-ARC here in the province of the Blackweld in the kingdom of Naledian. After seemingly uncovering something dark and ancient within the local abandoned iron mines, he finally emerged from the gaping maw that is the tunnels that lead deeper into the earth, which also sort of branch out into these undiscovered or at least long forgotten crypts of elven kings known as Tira. From there, after his emergence, he challenged you all, the Bared Souls, to essentially mortal combat, which you met him in an open field and delivered exactly what he asked for in the form of a well-placed, in just bisecting strike from Marcroft, presumably the heir apparent to the town of ABERL-ARC and the rightful sovereign here before he was locked away by Lord Ilan Thorn. Here you stand in the midst of this open field, the fallen body of Ilan Thorn at each of your feet, Kill also nearly being knocked into the realm of the afterlife, sort of just barely clinging on to life. You all hear this sort of pulsing, this heartbeat like rhythmic thrumming around you. Dum dum. Dum dum. Dum dum. Dum dum. Sirikaz. This cold sensation deep within your chest, present for some time, begins to grow hotter and hotter, and it begins to burn deep inside of you until it starts to flare up and your eyes, unbeknownst to you, begin to curl with flecks of smoke as little wisps of fire burn around your eyelids, and your eyelashes begin to sear. You can smell the scent of burning, singeing hair, and all you can think is, he was mine. And you look, and the vision around you begins to fill with red, and your mind focuses solely on Marcroft, who stands there, sword at his hand, sort of just a little bit disheveled at this point, sweat across his brow, blood caked around his armor, panting and just sort of absorbing the reality of the situation that he stole from you. And you feel that mark of death dissipate from the body of the fallen Ilan Thorn and settle itself upon Marcroft, he who stole what was rightfully yours, vengeance must be found. You hear in the back of your mind, he took this from you. I who gave you the will to carry on, I who gave you the power to seek and find. Now go and claim what is ours. You feel that presence engulf you like a mantle, like a cowl that is brought around your own head. You are filled with the red rage of vengeance. I need everybody to roll initiative again.
Shit.
And we can swap over to Orphan Maker if you'd like. Michaela, please.
For the sake of this battle, I assume I'm not going to be controlling Markroft, so I'm going to give you.
You are not controlling Markroft, unfortunately, no.
I just gave the sheet to Matt.
Gotcha. Well, I will be controlling Markroft.
Oh, that's fine.
Yes. No worries.
Either
no
way.
worries.
Yeah, if you want to know. I forget about it. He's at 46 HP, by the way.
Word.
I'm at 0 HP, by the way.
For the sake of this, Sirikaz, your sort of sole goal right now is to eliminate Markroft. That does not necessarily mean that you just sort of take that as you will. You are not necessarily brainwashed or like, you won't take that. Just take that as you will. I wouldn't suggest that you are like inherently like aggressive toward your allies or anything like that. It's just this is your utter and immediate goal right now. So, Garrett, what did you roll for initiative?
17.
17. Gotcha. Matt?
12.
Jamie?
6.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Kaz, essentially, no one really understands the sort of immediacy of this. So, for all intents and purposes, depending on what you choose to do, you may or may not get the jump on Markroft. He does not expect any of this.
Sure.
So, it is your turn.
Looking down at the corpse of Millen Thorne, a whisper. That was my kill. And a tensing. And immediately a lunge.
Sure.
Sort of lunging over the body with the blade that I wanted to call Thorn's Bane. Just
Make an attack roll with advantage.
You bet. 27 is going to hit.
27 hits, certainly.
And I don't believe there's anyone around him, so I think I also get my sneak attack.
You do.
Which is 3d6 now? Yeah. That's a 6, 7, 12, 14, plus 5. 19 damage.
19 points of damage. Sounds good.
And as I lunge, just yelling it, that was my kill!
Got it. You lunge forward and you find that sort of space between his plate mail that just ever so slightly immediately slips in and pierce the skin underneath, and you can see spits up a little bit of blood as
Oh wait, I forgot to add the 2d6 for the Hunter's Mark.
Yes.
It's going to be another 8 damage.
Gotcha, for sure. So total that's 27. You said 19 and 8?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. And he was at, what'd you say, 34?
He was at 46.
46.
He was at 46. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
So that brings him to 19.
Yes. And then... Yes, okay. You can see he coughs up just a mound of blood from that. You can see the wounds that he suffered earlier were minor, but now you just absolutely sunk deep within, and without any hesitation or remorse, you just absolutely ripped a chunk of his lifespan off of him for sure. That is your action.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, as a bonus action, I'm actually going to move. Well, actually, that's just my movement. I'm going to move 30 feet away.
Okay.
And probably use my bonus action dash to move like 40.
Gotcha.
Farther than I assume he'll be able to move
Take
before.
this out of there. 1 sec. Oh, we said this was Markroft. Okay, cool. So you were here, and then so you said what? You're going to use your bonus action to move.
I'm going to move a total of 40 feet away. Basically, very ninja-esque, like running around and running past.
Sure. Sounds good. Kill. Go ahead and make a death saving throw.
As a 12.
12. That's it. Success. Very nice. It is Markroft's turn. Mary is. He just sort of looks around, and he looks down at Kill, looks over at you, Indigo, and he says,
Kaz, what on earth are you doing?
That was my kill!
You can see wisps of smoke and fire begin to flare out of his eyes as he speaks and yells, and you can smell the scent of burning hair and a little bit of burning flesh as well. Because of the nature of your body, you are not affected by this burning. However, that scent fills the air, nevertheless. Markroft is going to use his movement to shift sort of behind you, Kill, and he's going to use this free action to essentially call out to you, Indigo, and says, I don't know what's going on, but Kill's hurt.
He has good berries. Feed him one.
He's going to use his action to reach down. I am going to have him make a quick investigation check. DC will be low, but you never know. That's cocked. Yeah, that's fine. He reaches down, shifts around for a moment, plucks a good berry off of you, and shoves it into your mouth.
Hell yeah.
That is going to be his action. You are brought up to 1 HP, so you are conscious. He's going to use a bonus action to second wind and regain some health. That is going to be the end of his turn. Indigo. That's you.
I want to move 35 feet closer to Kaz.
Okay.
If you want to decide where that is.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Does that put me within 30 feet of Kaz or no?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Still
45 feet away from him.
So I'm going to... okay. Quick question. So in PvP combat, can I elect, assuming we do damage to each other?
Yes.
Can we elect not to kill each other?
Yeah, you can definitely say I want to try to do this non-lethally. Yeah.
Okay. Even with things like fireballs or...
That will be more difficult. It will require some skill checks, and you can fail them.
Then again, I am also very strong against fire, so...
Sure, I mean, that's just an example. It's just, like, it's always weird to, like, I mean, I shoot you non-lethally with my gun.
Right. Yeah. I put my gun at you.
I shoot you with the side of my gun.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I lightly pistol whip you.
So as a bonus action, I can convert sorcery points to spell slots. I believe that just convert as many as I want per bonus action. That's not very clear.
I think so.
Yeah, it's as many as you want. It's just that you can only do that a certain amount of uses up to your sorcery points. So
Yeah, okay.
You can burn them all at once if you want to do that.
Bonus action, I'm going to convert 2 sorcery points to a second level spell slot.
Sounds good. How many more sorcery points do you have?
I have 3 more after that.
Beautiful.
And my action to do a mind sliver, a non-lethal mind sliver.
Okay.
On Kaz.
You can make a I believe it's a
Intelligence
save.
Yeah.
Perfect choice. That is a nat 1.
Ooh.
All right.
Which makes sense.
So you suffer some damage.
Suffer. Okay, but we're level. At least level 5. Okay, 26. So that's going to be 7 psychic damage, and
Wow.
has the next. You subtract 1d4 from your next saving throw before the end of my next turn.
Nice. Very cool.
Okay. So as that hits me, just It's like a headache, right? Like,
You feel so.
What do I feel?
Essentially, as you're just sort of like gaining your bearings on like what your next move is, still sort of honed in on the visage of Markroft, you feel this sort of searing pain in your mind. It's almost as if like your consciousness is being split for a moment. You reel back. You suffer a horrible, excruciating. It's almost like a concussive blast happen inside your skull.
Got it.
And you rear back and hold. And there's a moment where there's just a moment where you feel separated from this overwhelming desire. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Dope.
Fight it, Kaz.
15.
15. And that searing, shocking pain causes you to wince and buckle down and almost bite at the edge of your cheek, and a little drop of blood comes out of it. You suffer an additional point of just damage overall. However, you begin to feel that dissipation, that will, that force against you, moving you forward in this cold, this horrible desire for this vengeance begin to...
Can I tell if that's happening as well?
You begin to see him just sort of like hold his head and buckle down, and like it's very difficult to see from even this far away, but you can kind of see he's retching and reeling, and that smoke and those little licks of flame around his eyes do begin to sort of dissipate a little bit at this moment.
Okay.
That is the end of your turn, Indigo.
Yes. Fight it, Kaz.
Sirikaz, it is your turn. At this point, you sort of blink, and it's this blurry, like, haze around you. That searing pain, this throbbing in your head is still present. However, this overwhelming desire seems to have left you for, you unsure if it's for the moment or for how long, but you sort of think a little bit more clearly now about what's going on.
Fuck, and actually, I'm throwing my blade away.
Sure.
Just away from me.
It clatters onto the ground just maybe about 10 feet away from you as you just toss it in a random direction. You are unarmed at this point.
I look over to Markroft, who I assume is helping kill. And I'm actually gonna run.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Run the opposite direction?
yeah, just away.
Sure.
Bonus action dash.
Sure. Yeah, you can just get out of there.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You, Indigo, you see Kaz just sort of toss his weapon to the side, just sort of look around, focus on Markov for a moment, and then he just turns and bolts. And he's quick, so he fucking gets out of there. I mean, you can, you can head towards the mines, like, or wherever, just like into the city, like if you hang around the sort of back place by the garlands or whatever, but or you could try to even just go past them towards the more dilapidated part of the city.
I'm actually gonna go into the mines, I think.
Okay. You see him bolt towards the mines. You won't be able to make it this round, but he's getting there pretty
I
quickly.
assume Modron's gone.
Modron is actually still here.
Okay.
For the time being.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Badron, yeah, of course. Alright, that's gonna be the end of your turn. Kill, you are back up and conscious with 1 HP. At this point, you do see, you didn't see anything that happened. You do see Markroft sort of above you, like profusely bleeding. You see he's in the process of like stemming that, and it's basically in the process of his second wind. He sort of has like he's actually has his longsword like dug into the ground as he's, tending to himself. As you sort of get your bearings and look around, you can see Indigo just sort of like calling out to Kaz as Kaz is just running towards the mines. You do notice that like his weapons are just sort of cast off to the side on the ground, maybe, some feet away from where he bolted from.
Is Thorn's body still right next to me, basically?
Thorn's body is still right next to you.
Do I hear the beating heart, or is that done?
Make a perception check.
19.
19. In the haze of this battle and Indigo calling out and all of these things just sort of rushing, the senses getting back to your person sort of in the past couple of seconds, you focus for a moment and you can still hear the doom 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 doom. It is present.
And it's obviously louder than a normal heartbeat because it's audible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. What's happening?
We beat Thorn, I think, but something's wrong with Kaz. He attacked Marcroft.
Are we sure we beat him? Because I
don't know. He's down. Do I hear the heartbeat too? Perception check.
Yes.
9.
9. You try to focus best you can. However, instead of a heartbeat kill, you continue to hear it. Boom, boom. However, at some point, as you're trying to converse with Indigo, you begin to hear more of a rumbling. This tremor that begins to shake the earth around you. The body of Ilan Thorn begins to crack and convulse until it rights itself into a full just horizontal pose on the ground, and the earth cracks around it, and his body begins to sink into the earth close to it. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Marcroft will also attempt to do that.
20.
It's probably going to be a little loud as I started off. Word. Dirty 20. Marcroft, natural 1. As the ground splits and opens up, you instinctively roll out of the way. Marcroft falls forward as he's tending to his wounds, and the ground opens and splits. As he falls forward, he reaches up to grab, and he's sort of fallen, and his hands dig at the side as the earth opens up under him, and he begins to fall. You have a reaction if you like.
Can I use mold earth to try to like create a platform out of the ground under him?
Can you do that as a? Oh, I guess yeah. Fuck it, sure.
I mean, it's an action.
It's an action, yeah. Sure.
Oh, you would give me a reaction.
I'm giving you a reaction.
I mean, I don't have any actual reactions.
Yeah, we'll say that. That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, that's no problem.
So I'll try to basically like as the ground is opening and he's hanging on, basically like pull a 5-foot cube of earth out from under him. Sure. To sort of prop him up.
For sure. You reach under the ground, and as you're sort of standing up, getting out of the way, you reach down and you sort of can feel that connection deep underneath you, and you pull back the earth on top, sort of straining against the grass and the dirt. And as you do that, on the other side, you can sort of just see over your peripheral, the point of view over the edge of the earth that has split open. As you pull back on the grass, part of the earth shunts outward, and as his fingers slip and claw against the hard rock of the earth, he falls, and you hear oh, thank you, kill. But at this moment, you see the earth split open wider, and the body of Ilan Thorn fall deep within. And as the sort of ground around you begins to come to this halt, there's a gaping maw that now is opened up in the ground around you, and you can still hear as it fades, boom, 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 until it dissipates as the body falls deeper into the earth.
Well, damn, there goes that. I'll stand up and try to help.
Okay, I'll switch to forever still.
I'll stand up and try to help Marcroft fully out of the crevasse that's just open in the middle of this field.
You do so. As an action, you bring him out. Kaz, at some point as you reach the maw of the iron mines, this tremor shakes the earth around you, and you begin to see the sort of ceiling portion of the entrance to the mines begins to crack and rumble as rock falls begin to fall near you. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
21.
21. You dip and dodge out of the way, and as you roll, you can see that whole portion of the entrance to the iron mines begin to shift and crack and collapse in a rock slide. It rolls out towards you, and as you dip out of the way, nimbly you move aside and are completely unaffected by this. However, you can see the entrance to the iron mines completely shatters and is erupted with rock and earth as it collapses in on itself, and the reverberations of this tremor sort of echo out into the land around you. You can see as you turn, even the great walls around ABERL-ARC shift a little bit. Portions of them collapse towards the sort of outside corner where you would hang around to the garlands. Some of it shifts and buckles in on themselves. It stays up predominantly, the structure sort of holds itself up, but you can see that a lot of parts of it are compromised, and if this should happen again, things might get a little worse for wear. You stop and you take a look around. Make a perception check for me.
Sure. I believe that is a 22.
22. You look around. Everything goes still for a moment. And then suddenly, you begin to hear this sort of strong sound of a gale begin to whip up around you, and you look and you can see the blades of grass sort of move back and forth. And the rest of you begin to see this sort of surrounding Sirikaz for a moment. The wind picks up, and suddenly it comes to a standstill. All the blades of grass around you become rigid and still. It's almost as if sound has been removed from this area and the wind halts itself. And suddenly there's a blast of bright white light for a moment. It begins as this orange dull glow sort of in between Kaz, where the entranceway was to the iron mines, and the rest of you, halfway-ish between all of you, this orange reddish dot, and this white light erupts. I need all of you to make Constitution saving throws.
This is out of the mine, you said?
This is in between, this is in the open field in between where Sirikaz is near the entrance to what was the mines and where you guys are.
So this just peers out of the air.
Yes.
I will dip into my shell for this.
Okay.
12.
Yeah. Nat 20 for 23.
For sure. Markov, natural 2. Markov is having a hard time. You all save. Actually, sorry, Kaz, would
12.
you? 12, yeah. You all save. You all save as you sort of avert your eyes for a moment. Markroft, unfortunately, trying to get his bearings, just sort of, you hear him wince and cry out in pain as this bright white light seems to sear at his eyes. And you all just sort of blink as you can see standing in the middle of what is now a completely seared and singed, like 50-foot area of scorched earth, is a humanoid standing there with this staff-like object wreathed in black onyx armor, plate mail, with this long draping red cloak that sort of envelops around what you assume to be his form. Sort of this dark crimson skin and long black horns that sort of wreath up into like almost like a crown around his head. Blinking black eyes with this staff sort of turned and coiling like a golden rod. He just sort of stands there for a moment, looks around. So, it seems you have disposed of my disciples.
And who might you be?
I've been known by many names. Here I am, the 5 of Hells. Lord Thorn was a devout follower of mine. You, the Cold One, is with you. Interesting.
Are you a god of some kind?
could never be one of them. I come with a warning. Leave my children be, or suffer my consequences. There is much work to be done. Your presence is intriguing. I thought there would not be others. And yet here you are.
Where did you come from?
A question I'm sure you know the answer to.
What do you mean others?
He steps out of this sort of scorched earth area around him, and he begins to walk towards you, Kill, and Markroft as well, who's sort of like keeping his hand over his eyes, momentarily blinded, into that sort of chasm that has opened up in front of you, just very slowly.
I try to kind of steady myself, even though I'm really fucked up, just in a kind of a dignified way, but not in any sort of aggression. I'm clearly steadying myself in rough shape, and I just look him on directly. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not at my best at the moment.
He looks over at this point, has arrived at this chasm, and just sort of looks down into it.
Your friend's down there if you want to go get him.
He holds his hand over the chasm, and you see this sort of almost like a purple amalgamation of arcanum open up in his hand. He sort of grabs at it, and as he turns his hand downwards, that purple bit of arcanum envelops him, and he disappears.
I kind of like plop back down on my ass.
The guy with the staff disappears?
Yes.
I didn't really think he was going to do it, but I'm glad it worked.
Kill, are you all right? I mean, can you heal yourself?
Yeah, a little. A little, but it ain't gonna do much good if we get in another fight right now.
Right. Is Kaz still by the entrance to the mines, or have you gone inside?
The entrance to the mines has been collapsed.
Collapsed, yeah.
I don't think I've moved from where I am, however many 100 feet away I am.
You did ask him a question though, so you probably came a little bit forward.
Yeah. I would imagine I'm like at the edge here at best.
Yeah.
When he disappears and I sort of recover from that, I'm going to try to take off my ring.
Okay.
My fucking what's it called again? The Ring of Minor Obscurance.
Mm-hmm. You take it off. Slips off your finger.
Okay. And I throw it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just first level healing word myself.
Okay.
I'll approach Kaz. Kaz, are you back to normal?
I actually don't let you get closer than like 20 feet, I think.
Okay.
So as you get closer, I'll step back.
I
don't know. I mean, do I feel that presence at all anymore?
You can still feel there's that cold sensation in your chest, but it's not. It is sort of that dull-ish feeling.
Yeah.
From before it sort of flared up. You do still feel it.
whatever it is still here. I really shouldn't get too close, I don't think.
Keel, are you able to maybe see if there's any magic on Kaz? Can sort of a diagnosis of any kind?
Yeah, I could try. I'll start ritual casting detect magic.
Okay.
It'll take me a minute.
Right.
About 20 seconds into your process, you begin to see a sort of purplish mote begin to appear just at the edge of that rift that you are gathered around, and it begins to sort of open up into almost like a door-like portal, and out steps that same black horned gentleman with the rod of gold. Sort of draped over his left shoulder is the body of Ilan Thorn, nearly bisected, just sort of hung over him as he steps down, and he just turns to look at you, and he says,
I have no doubts our paths will cross again.
Was it you at the other end of the gem? Did you talk to Kill through the gem?
I have heard your voice before, yes.
Well, now you outed me.
You said your name.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
Now he knows what he looks like, I guess.
What did you mean when you said you didn't think there would be others? Other what?
he turns and he looks at Marcroft, who at this point has finally begun to see, and he says,
There must always be a hand.
and he reaches down towards Marcroft, and he sort of touches his face, and Marcroft just sort of instinctively winces. However, you can see as he does this, Marcroft's eyes sort of glow for a moment. And he stands up, and he says, the gentleman just sort of turns, and he says,
We will be going. Seems you might have more pertinent things to attend to.
and he looks over towards the city itself, and you can sort of hear more chaos coming from around there.
The remnants of what has conspired here might prove difficult to contend with. No doubt you will be up to the challenge.
What is it you were doing here? What is your goal?
Surely all will be revealed in time. I must say, it has been a pleasure dealing with you.
I wish I could say the same.
Come, Marcroft. There is work to be done.
And he begins to move forward, the staff sort of keeping him along, and Marcroft sort of stands up. He reaches over and he grabs the sword out of the ground.
Can I tell that Marcroft seems to be like under control of some kind?
Make an insight check.
Yeah. 16.
16. He definitely doesn't seem his movements are not, at least as far as you've been able to observe him in the short time that you've known him. He seems a little bit more, seems less exuberant with his movements, even with his minor wounds and whatnot. He seems a little bit more rigid.
Am I within 30 feet of Marcroft?
You are.
I'd like to cast a suggestion spell on Marcroft.
Okay.
I'm also going to make spend 3 sorcery points to make this a heightened spell, so I can do it at disadvantage.
He'll make the save at disadvantage?
Yes.
Gotcha.
By the way, as soon as they showed up, I stopped the spell casting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw DC 15. The disadvantage.
That is a 2.
Okay. I say, Marcroft, stay where you are. Don't go with him.
As you finish the spell, you feel the suggestion take hold of him. And he stops in his tracks. He just sort of stands there for a moment. And he looks over his shoulder at you. And you can see his eyes are nearly glazed over at this point. And the horned gentleman stops. And he turns around. And he says, "You defy this one."
I think that I do, yes. If you're responsible for what happened here, then yes, I defy you.
He turns, and he begins to walk forward again.
I have an Easter egg.
Easter egg.
For Kaz.
Easter egg for Kaz.
Is that my fucking dad?
Kaz. Dada. You, as you're observing this instance, you are sort of overwhelmed with a sense that with how this person is regarding Indigo, there's a different way that this person looks at Indigo than he does at any of the rest of you. Mm-hmm. It's almost like there's this pain behind his eyes when he regards them. You're not certain as to why that might be the case. There's clearly a connection between the two of them, at least in a one-way sense, perhaps. Mm-hmm. Maybe that Indigo doesn't recognize. And the gentleman turns back and walks away, and he stops maybe 60 feet from you at this point, and he sort of slams the golden rod onto the ground. And again, in this sort of area of this scorched earth, this searing red flame emanates around it in many different points, turning in this like almost wagon wheel-like pattern as it curves around and sears into the earth. These lines of fire reach the apex of this 60-foot circle and sear again like this fire around him. He turns out and he says, "For what it's worth, I still feel. But now is not the time for sentiment."
I want to rush at him.
Go for it.
I think something's happening, and I'm not leaving without fucking answers.
Is Marcroft still standing in the same place?
Marcroft is still standing in the same place, yes.
So I'm just running at him, going for, I guess, like a tackle.
A tackle, sure.
Yeah.
We'll do a grapple check for now. What'd you get?
Not one.
That one. excuse me, as you rush up, you lunge towards the circle of fire, and as you do, as you reach that apex, the fire sears up, and you slam into what feels like a brick wall. You can feel licks of flame, but they're not too aggressive against you. What hurts is actually ramming your entire body into what literally feels, like I said, like a brick wall. You suffer 2 points of bludgeoning damage and 1 point of fire damage already reduced. As you just sort of are knocked onto the ground. You can make a dexterity saving throw. Sure. Just to see if you are knocked prone or not.
14.
Yeah, you just sort of fall and catch yourself onto the ground, and like you sort of shake it off. It didn't necessarily hurt too bad. It's just like a shock that you jumped in midair, and then out of nowhere you were just met with force, essentially.
Yeah.
And you all can see this gentleman does not flinch or even regard Sirikaz, but as he looks up from you, Indigo, and turns towards Marcroft, and he says,
Come, Hand of Hell.
and Marcroft, well, I'll say he'll have it with advantage. You see Marcroft twitch for a moment, and he shrugs his shoulders, and he looks over at you, Indigo, and you can just see a resolute, stoic face. And he turns back, and he begins to walk towards the gentleman.
I'm gonna charge Marcroft.
Okay, go ahead and let's see. You're at this point. You rush up. Go ahead and make a grapple check. So it's a strength. What is it?
Athletics.
It's athletics against his athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Hides of Chaos this athletics.
Okay, sounds good.
It's the first time a wild magic sorcerer has ever said that.
I know, right?
19.
19.
Damn.
As you rush him and tackle him, you do succeed in this grapple. His speed is reduced to 0 at this point. And you can feel almost like a surge of this arcane power sort of, allowing you to lock yourself against him. His body and frame is much more, even though in his more gaunt state after being in prison for so long, you can feel the power like underneath your arms, but there's something within you that is willing you to hold him in his place. And he stops, and you can see the outstretched hand of the gentleman before you, and he says, "Forgive me." And he turns his hand, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
14.
14. Okay. You suffer. What's the total? Hello. There it is. Okay. You suffer.
It's a lot of dice.
You suffer 33 points of fire damage as a mote of flame just in between the two of you, like just off to the side where you're grappling, just erupts in an explosion. Marcroft, you can see, is the fire licks against his body, but he is not consumed by it.
Okay.
He suffers no points of damage.
Am I still grappling him?
You are still hanging on. There's no check against it, but you were just erupted by this fire and flame. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go, Marcroft, we worked too hard for this. You are not going to hell. You are going to stay here, and you are going to fuck your boyfriend.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. It's 15. 15.
You see him stop, and and you can feel the tension in his body somehow get even tenser. You see this sort of, the veins in his forehead bulge as he's clenching his jaw as tight as possible and fighting against this force willing him forward. As you hold his body against you, the gentleman with his outstretched hand closes his fist and returns it to his side. He just sort of waves his hand, and you feel that tension slack as Markov collapses into your arms. As you just sort of kneel down holding him, he is completely unconscious. The gentleman...
Why does it have to be him?
He looks at the body of Thorn over his shoulder, and he says,
It is the way of things. He who takes must be he who gives.
Because he's the one who killed Thorn?
You are a clever person, old one.
Do you know who I am?
He knows who you are. Do you not recognize him? I see the way you fucking look at him.
I know who you are.
Care to enlighten us?
I will grant you a gift. There is another here. A tool that I can use. There must be another. I will leave this place. I will let you contend with the chaos set before you.
he looks over at the city.
I will leave this Marcroft to you. But I will take another.
Do we get to choose who?
You get to choose if Marcroft stays or he goes.
Who will you take instead of him?
That is my choice. We all have one.
I say Markov stays. Look to the others.
It's been 5 minutes, right?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna officially arduous rally.
Word. Sure. I'll allow the arduous rally.
Just to say.
Yeah,
just
that's
to
fine.
state
You
it.
arduous rally. Arduous rally, for the sake of our viewers who might not know what that is a sort of homebrew feat or choice that you can make that is derived from Matt Mercer's old source book for Critical Role that basically allows you to take a short rest in like 5 minutes at the cost of exhaustion later on, which is, I think, cool. So
Yeah.
do so.
So I will. I'll stand, and I think Mary's paid his dues. He's been in a prison long enough. And I also think we should let this gentleman be on his way. Kaz.
Vengeance demands his blood. Moorcroft should stay and take care of the town.
Is that your choice?
It is. But I also want you to know that this isn't over.
Perhaps we will be free of this burden soon. Old one.
And he beckons his hand out in your direction, not yours, behind him. Sort of holds his hand out in your direction. And he says, in a louder, almost thaumaturgic, inspired voice, and he says,
Come, Hand of Hell.
and you see shifting, rather you hear shifting behind you, as a few people who have been gathered here in this area, who've been watching all of this conspire. A few of them are just sort of, you hear like, as they're shifted away, you turn around, and hidden amongst all these people, draped in a cloak over himself, a ragged, dark garment moving through. He pulls back the cowl around him. You can see this sort of same dullness in the eyes that you once saw with Marcroft. Eric stand, begin to walk forward, and he just casually begins to walk up to the two of you as the gentleman is holding his hand out. From far away, as Stant gets a little bit closer, Sirik, as you begin to see the nemesis before you, and standing in between you is this almost deific person, holding his hand out, paying no attention to you.
I don't have my weapons. I don't have anything on me. I told him it was on site.
Word.
I am running past this fucking demon god, and I'm just gonna tear at Eric with hands, nails, anything.
As you begin to rush forward, Eric at this point has gotten maybe 10 feet away from the two of you as he's beginning to just sort of walk right past you. It's almost as if he does not, it's like he doesn't even notice you. He's fully focused on the hand beckoning him towards this circle of flame. You can hear the sound of footfalls as Kaz, probably almost immediately as you saw Eric, your attention turns over your shoulder to see Kaz's reaction. He is sprinting towards him. Is there anything that you two would like to do as he's sort of covering this distance between?
Sprinting toward Eric.
Yes.
Inspiration.
Inspiration to Kaz.
Goddamn right.
Is Markov still in a trance?
Markov is unconscious in your arms.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to be hurt by any means. Like he's not sort of on the brink of death, but he is not conscious.
No, I think I'm just gonna let Kaz do it.
Sure.
Yeah. I look at Indigo and I just say, he's going to take one of them.
Better him than Markroft.
I'm just saying, if Kaz gets his way, then Markroft's the only choice.
I don't think he'll kill him.
Damn, that's cold. I don't think he can fucking do it.
Damn. You rush up. And as you do, it's almost like he doesn't acknowledge you at all. He passes by your companions who watch you as you're gaining now at this point, and you lunge out at him. Go ahead and are you attacking unarmed? Are you grappling? What are you doing?
This is an unarmed attack. This is
Sure.
for animalistic.
Go ahead and make attack rolls.
I mean, I don't have my fucking weapons on me unless.
No, you don't.
I was gonna say, if they're on the way, I'll pick them up. I'll grab one right from them. I don't give a shit.
Sure. Go ahead and make a unarmed attack for now.
Okay. That's gonna be a 5.
5. You lunge forward, and it's almost as if disregarding your presence catches you off guard, and he just sort of takes a step forward and to the right a little bit, just enough to get out of the way of your mauling grasp, and he continues to move forward. As that happens, you just sort of are in a position of almost shock at his complete denial of your existence. He begins to move away from you. Another, you can make an attack of opportunity as he exits your range.
6.
Again, you lunge forward, and it's almost like this disregard of you is giving him this ability to completely neglect these advances towards him. He just moves with such certainty and forward with such stoicness that it becomes more and more difficult. It's like a dream where you just want to reach out or you just want to strike, but you are falling short for some reason. Something is holding you back. It feels like even though this rage and will drives you forward, there's just something that continues to hold you from grasping what you want. And he begins to move forward, and that beckoning hand turns and the grasp closes.
No.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
19.
19. You feel a force of presence set in on you for a moment, and it's almost as if your body begins to lock up, but you shake it off by sheer determination. Whatever this spell or effect was is unaffected. You save against it.
He does not get to get more power. And if anywhere, are my weapons nearby?
At this point that you've rushed up, you'd have to run backwards to grab them.
I don't. Anything that I can get to stab this motherfucker.
Where you're at, you could probably reach over and grab Markroft's sword that's still sort of like...
It's the same thing, longsword plus
Yep.
one. Okay.
Kaz, wait. Eric made you a slave. Now it's his turn.
He's just gonna get more powerful, just like Thorn. He does not deserve more power.
No, he doesn't. We'll kill him later. Together.
You fucking better. Throw down the blade.
It seems you have not changed much. A voice of reason amidst the debauchery.
I've never been called that before.
Yes, you have.
And finally, Stant grabs the outstretched hand of the Horned Gentleman and pulls him through that wreath of fire. And you see the horned figure of this red-skinned, onyx-clad person with this rod of gold, the body of the sundered Ilan Thorn, and now at his side, this glossed over, starry-eyed Eric Stant with this ragged, dark cloak flowing in now, this tempestual wind that begins to pick up. The blades of grass around begin to swirl in this sort of tornado-like cyclone around where the fire begins to engulf them, and as it swirls into a cyclone of an inferno, like essentially a hellfire tornado, it engulfs them until finally and it wafts over. This wave of heat sort of passes over you all. Not unbearable by any means, but slightly uncomfortable. And they're gone.
Did the when Eric appeared, did you say there was like a crowd that had started to gather?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of the townsfolk that seem to have been gathered by Maeve, who have just sort of been waiting for any sort of sign to be rallied or armed or to come around you, have been watching sort of all of this happen amongst, in front of them. Apparently Eric was one of those.
So Maeve is there?
Maeve is there, yes. Just sort of like looking around, just sort of in shock of all of this.
Maeve,
Hey,
what's going on in town? You seen the Black Hands? Are they still around?
I think so, yeah. It sounds like it at least. Not entirely sure. Fuck was that?
It's gone, and that's good.
Sure, I guess.
Thorn's gone too.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. You seen Aaron?
No. No, I haven't.
Right, well, I imagine we should go. Once everyone's, I don't know, do whatever anyone can kind of heal up, and then go see what we can do in town to help.
Yeah, let's why don't we round up the Black Hands?
Sounds good.
Right.
Maeve turns around and begins to shout out some meager little commands at first until he finally gains his resolve back and starts ushering people into certain positions and sort of getting them into a more organized unit, no matter how small and meager they might be.
Yeah.
Seeing this all happen before them, some of them you can see are a little bit emboldened about all of these things, watching you go toe-to-toe with their oppressor for so long. Some others are a little bit more trepidatious after all this craziness that has just happened. But nevertheless, he begins to move them into a more mobile force, heading towards the city proper. We're actually going to take our break a little bit early today. I think I'm going to orate a few things as we get back, so I want to get some things in order, but we'll be right back, probably another 10 or 15 minutes, so definitely stick around. Some stuff is going to get even more interesting
Holy shit.
here tonight, so thank you. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Terrible. Thank you for your patience. We are now back with the second half of the show tonight. As the rest of the townsfolk that have sort of gathered here in the dilapidated part of town are rallied and sort of ushered and dispersed by Maeve, they begin to start heading towards the front gate of the town of ABERL-ARC. As they do, you can sort of see more bits of smoke pillars and shouts from inside the town, inside the gates. So there's certainly a sense of chaos and tumultuousness that maybe it was lacking a bit before. Something is going on within town.
I'm actually gonna go with Maeve in the group.
Sure.
And on my way out, I'm just gonna say, you handle this.
And what?
I'll look over.
Oh. I'll do it.
Anyway, I'll see you later.
You begin to move with them.
Sorry, what? Oh, wait. So you're leaving with?
I'm going with Maeve and the townsfolk to try to like squelch whatever's happening and crack some Black Hand skulls.
Hell yeah.
What's Kaz doing?
I don't really know yet, to be honest. I think I'm just standing there.
I'll go over to Kaz. And, Kaz, I would ask if you're all right, but I think I know the answer. I know that was difficult, but I think it was the right choice. I think we couldn't let Marcroft go with him.
Well, absolutely. And he like takes off his jacket and he shoves it in the bag of holding. And I go over and pick up my weapons. Also throw them in the bag of holding.
If it's any consolation, it's true. Eric may have more power now, but he doesn't have freedom. I hope you can take some comfort in that, at least.
Did Thorn have freedom?
I don't think he did. I think he was somehow indebted to this person or something. I don't think he was a good person to begin with. Maybe that's... I don't know.
I just think either we killed a man who didn't really deserve it, or he only takes bastards. But that makes it worse that he was going to take Markov, doesn't it?
I guess I don't know. I don't know Marcroft very well, but I don't think he's a bad person.
Then we don't know if Thorn was.
I guess we don't. We don't know how much of Thorn was his own choices and how much what was being under control of this, whoever they are.
Markov never got up, did he? Or did we get him up and he's...
No, he's unconscious.
Oh, he's unconscious now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like hurt unconscious? Or
No, he is not like actively dying, but he is certainly.
is his hit points at 0? I guess. Is what I'm
No.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up to his body, his unconscious body, and I take the blade from him
Sure.
and shove it in the bag of holding as well.
Sounds good. You have Loren's other blade.
I'll go over to I'll also go over to Markov, see if I can wake him up.
Okay. It's relatively easy. You just sort of shake him back to consciousness, and he just sort of, and he sort of grabs at his side where Cass stabbed him, and he looks at you and just sort of,
Is everything alright? What happened?
More or less, yes, everything's all right. You saw the man with the staff earlier. You remember that?
Yeah, I bet. Things went a bit wonky.
Yes. He took Thorn's body, and he talked about how there must always be a hand, and apparently he wanted you to be the new hand. He was going to bring you with him. We convinced him not to do that. Instead, he took someone else.
And he knew you. Indigo.
Yes, I don't really know what that was about. Although, come to think of it, I had that vision earlier. I think it was him in the vision. Tiefling with the black armor. I remember that now. But apart from that, I don't know who that was. Markroft, are you feeling well enough to move?
I think so, yeah.
Should go get as much healing as we can, and then I think we should go see what we can do in town to help.
Alright. Sure.
and he stands up and just sort of,
My sword.
Is Kaz left at this point, or are you still there?
I imagine I'm still there. I mean, I don't think I would have left, but I don't respond. I don't say anything.
I'm gonna look at Kaz for a minute. Here, you have the stagger? Is that all right?
Sure. What happened to the blade?
Kaz needed it back. I don't. Kaz, are you good? For the moment.
Yeah, I'm alright.
It's a bit. He needed the sword back. Let's not go into any further detail than that for right now. We will talk about all that later. I think that we should get back as soon as we can.
All right. Okay. I'll follow your lead.
All right. Follow after Kill.
okay, dokie. So, as you begin to make your way to try to catch up with the rest of the sort of infiltrating band of townsfolk breaking their way into the town proper, Kill, you begin to lead them along with Maeve through the gates, which are open at this point. And as you enter in, you can see sort of where before there were scattered instances of people in need of help, Black Hand sort of trying their best to like get more what's the word I'm looking for, structure and stability to all of these falling buildings and burning structures and all these things from the tremors that shook this town to its core. Now you see there are humanoid-like creatures sort of ripped out of these the garbs of what once was the Black Hands, sort of almost twisted into these infernal forms. Some of them with black horns and almost like black scales protruding out of odd parts of their faces, grotesque and malformed, just running amok, attacking innocents and tearing down structures. It is chaos in here. Something has affected this town in the time that you all have been fighting Ilan and whatever that situation was with the Horned Gentleman. It is chaos and bloodshed in here.
Are there like tons of these creatures, or
there are? I mean, as far as you can see in the immediate vicinity, maybe 2 or 3 that have been sort of tearing into a few fallen folk around. But you can see in the distance there are, I mean, dozens like throughout. Yeah. It seems as though, as best as you can ascertain, the Black Hands have been afflicted in some way and are now causing a terrible sort of plague amongst this city here.
Yeah, crazy. Has anyone heard from Autolycus?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hopefully he'll be returning soon. I don't know.
We'll have to make do with what we got.
Fuck.
Yeah. Lead the people.
And Maeve sort of turns and he holds up a sword and he says,
"Today we stand for our city. We liberate each and every one of our friends, our families, and ourselves. Fight against these demons. To me!"
And he turns and just fucking charges in. Yeah. Make a perception check.
Okay. 13.
13. You look across this landscape of chaos, and in the distance towards the northwest, you can see, as you look across the sky, there are a litany of birds just sort of scattered, like fleeing out from what seems to be like the forest to the west, which is unusual. You haven't seen many birds around here. Right. And like there's just a flock of probably, as far as you can tell, probably like maybe crows or something else, of the like just scattered into the air, as you can sort of almost see the trees in the distance toward the west shift and move a little bit, and you swear you can almost hear like a dum, 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 like almost like a pounding against the earth in the far distance. A cawing of these murder of crows that sort of just cascade across the landscape around you. And you can hear a sort of like bellowing roar from the west, from the northwest. What would you like to do?
Does it sound like it's the sort of the footfalls or whatever? Does it sound like it's getting closer, or I can't tell?
It sounds like it's getting closer as far as you can tell. Caleb, if you want to switch to Sword of Kings.
Are there any Black Hands in the immediate vicinity of me?
There seems to be one of them probably within about 40 feet of you, to just off to the right. Yes.
Okay. I would like to activate my symbiotic entity, and then engage with that Black Hand and try to fuck him up while I wait to see what's happening in the west.
Oh, yeah?
Like basically, I'm gonna start to make my way to the west, but I'm gonna fuck up as many Black Hands as I can on my way over there. You know what I mean?
Go ahead and everybody just go ahead and roll initiative. Hold on to that in just a second.
First point of exhaustion is all skill checks at disadvantage, right?
Correct.
Okay. I cheated on my perception check.
Oh yeah?
That's okay. I've decided it's okay. I forgot.
I love that.
I've literally never had a point of exhaustion before when it actually mattered. But it's fine.
That's kind of what I wanted. Sorry, one moment. One moment, please. The music does go pretty hard, huh? Where the fuck? Okay.
Where the fuck?
Where the fuck?
Where the fuck? Where the fuck? Where the fuck?
That's not what I wanted to know.
Where the fuck?
Okay. That's so funny. Fucking Kaz. Initiative.
That please.
17.
Where the fuck?
Matt, initiative.
I got an 11.
11, got it. And Jamie.
18.
18.
Very nice.
I'm big and slow.
Okie dokie. So, Jamie, as you are rushing up, trying to catch up with the rest of the party that have moved into the city proper, you begin to hear shouting and chaos from the other side of the wall. You're probably like, at this point, after rushing up, probably like 60 feet away from the gate proper. You're on the outside of the wall of ABERL-ARC. It's going to take you 60 feet to get up to the gate, and then you can move inward from there.
Okay.
You can kind of hear the battle cry of your companion Kill in this moment.
Technically, my walk speed is 35, so I have to move 70 feet.
Oh, amazing.
That's incredible.
idiot.
A little bit faster than you guys.
Oh my
so-
goodness. What would you like to do, my
A
friend?
little bit faster. Yeah, so I move 70 feet.
Gotcha. You're going to use your action and your movement to move all the way up to get into the town proper by passing the threshold of the gate. And you can see now at this point, Kill rushing up to one of these infernal-like malformed versions of a Black Hand guard. Slightly bulkier than what you've seen before, bursting out of like this armor in like weird, mutated, like devil-like portions of horn and scale and like infernal properties of these humanoids now sort of afflict these Black Hand guards. This particular one is tearing into the corpse of some unfortunate citizen as Kill rushes up to it. You have a bonus action.
That's it for me.
Sounds good. Okie dokie. It's gonna bring us to Kaz.
I'm walking. We're making my way there. I'm not dashing.
Making my way downtown.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You have an action if you want to do anything else to prepare or anything like that.
I'll take out my bow.
Okay. Sounds good. The Infernal Black Hand sort of now, actually, let's see if it gives a fuck. It does. As you rush towards it, it sort of turns, notices you, and meets you halfway and attempts to strike at you with, it doesn't hold any like weapons anymore. You can see that there's still a sword at its side, but its hands and arms sort of have grown like these bone-like black protrusions on them that it just sort of swipes and claws at flesh with, and it's going to make a couple of attacks against you. First one is a claw attack. That's going to be a 20 excuse me, 25 to hit.
That hits.
You're going to suffer 6 points of slashing damage,
Okay.
and it's going to attempt to bite down onto you. With it lunges forward and it detaches its lower jaw and it like opens up. You see the skin tear up to like its temple. And its teeth are like gnarled and sharpened, these grotesque, like almost like road mandible as it lunges out at you.
That's pretty fucking gross.
It's gnarly. I also rolled pretty well for that. It's a 24 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
You suffer
Inspiration to Jamie.
Jamie inspiration.
Remind me what that is.
Reroll.
Reroll.
Yes.
You suffer 4 points of piercing damage. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yep. 21.
21, no problem. You feel a searing pain where the teeth marks sort of leave indents in your body, and you just sort of shrug off that additional, almost flame-like damage that might have seared its way into you if you weren't so hardy. But that is going to be the end of the creature's turn. It is your turn now, my friend.
It has to make a concentration. I'm sorry, Constitution save.
That is going to be a 14.
That fails. So it takes a whopping double ones, baby. Two necrotic damage.
Necrotic damage as your this is from your spores.
Yeah.
The spores sort of shake and disperse as it sort of stays in the vicinity around you, and they fall upon its skin and just begin to eat and rot at its flesh as it sort of rears back a little bit. Not doing too much damage, but definitely that full 2 points of damage set in. What else would you like to do?
Okay. So that's. I don't know how you want to structure the rounds, but that was like my current round reaction. Whether it's last round or this round, I don't know.
Great.
Okay, I'm going to try to Burst of Thorns him.
Hell yeah.
Get it in the thing. Shove it in already. That's 24.
24 hits. Certainly.
That's an 8 and 6. Jesus, terrible. Okay, that's 6 bludgeoning damage and 2 necrotic damage.
All right, so 8 total. As you
I rolled
slam,
3 1s and a 2 of the last 4 damage dice.
as you slam your hammer against its chest, it rears back a little bit, and you can see the force caves in part of the armor, and you can feel the concussive blast from your hammer just crack at its ribs, and it rears back, and you can see bits of that spore-like energy begin to rot away further at it, and it just all sense of humanity seemingly lost in this person.
Yeah.
Is that the end of your turn, my friend?
That's it.
Alrighty. Brings us back up to Indigo. At this point, you are about 35 feet away from this encounter.
Is there by chance another hostile within 30 feet of this one?
Make a perception check.
8.
8. You look around and you can't see another grotesque black hand entity within the 30 feet vicinity.
Okay.
There might be a few that are still scattered about further around, but
That's
not
fine.
immediately.
Well, just want to know how safe it was to cast a chaos bolt.
Sure.
But I'm gonna do a mind sliver on the flank.
Go ahead and roll for burst for your previous tides of chaos.
This is a cantrip.
Also, it doesn't
I
happen.
think it triggers on a cantrip.
Oh, never mind then. Cool. What is the
So
save?
that's in save 15.
Natural 1.
All right. It's gonna take. Seven psychic damage, and on its next saving throw, it's to take minus 1d4.
Okie dokie, sounds good. You loose out this arcane curse against its mind, and it roils back and holds its head as it shrieks and writhes around. Yeah, absolutely searing against its mind. Bonus action?
Nope.
Okie dokie. Not moving closer or anything? You're all good?
I'm good where I am.
Okay, sounds good. Cats, you're about 30 feet away from the gate at this point.
Yep, I'm walking.
You get there at the end of your movement, and you can see the sort of scene happening before you. At this point, Indigo is maybe like 10 feet away from you, further in, and Kill is sort of mixed into combat with this infernal-like creature that I've described before, maybe 35 feet away.
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot at it with my bow.
Hell yeah. Go for it.
19.
19 hits.
Cool. And I'm gonna have sneak attack. Is it? I took off the ring. Am I still attuned to it?
You are still attuned to the ring, however...
But I don't get the bonuses that are... Right?
Actually, no, you still do. Specifically, you wouldn't if it specifically said while wearing the ring, but it says while attuned to the ring.
Okay.
And you have not unattuned from it, you just took it off.
Would you say this thing is aware of my presence?
I would say it is not aware of your presence, no.
Yes, that's another 2d6.
For sure.
So I got 3d6 from the thing, 2d6 from that, and then 1d6 from the bow. 10, 13, 15, 16, 18 plus 4, so 22 damage.
You knock the arrow very casually and loose it. It flies past just over your right shoulder, kill directly into the throat of this infernal creature as it and falls dead, cold on the ground.
Hell yeah. Welcome back, Cass.
Thanks.
As the area around you begins to become more chaotic, as more fire and innocents are attacked and assailed, the rest of the citizens of ABERL-ARC begin to pour in at the command of Maeve and sort of following all of your lead. You can still hear that getting closer and closer until eventually bursting forth through the entirety of this more dilapidated portion of the shaken gate, or excuse me, not gate, but rather the wall around ABERL-ARC from the west side. You can see where there was a bunch of debris as sort of a collapsed portion of the wall is blown forward as this giant creature emerges through almost like a fully, like a scaled, hairless, almost like an elephant-like creature that none of you have really ever seen before. I mean, maybe Kill, you've heard stories about these almost ancient, like, not turtle, but like almost reptilian-like creatures scaled with large spikes on their backs, long tails, and just dome-like bone heads. This ancient, almost lizard-like creature on the back of which you can see a large sort of almost not caravan, but like a large sort of like mound of bags and a few boxes sort of tossed over the side, tied with ropes, mounted on this large lizard-like creature. Like, when I say large, I mean really huge. That barrels through the gate. Autolycus holding a sword into the air, riding this like reptilian-like creature into the city proper, barreling through. And as he does, the creature begins to sort of mow their way through. Some of the infernal creatures lunge against it. It turns and swings this large, almost like cannonball-sized edge of its tail filled with bone spikes that sort of protrude out of it and slam against these creatures, setting them flying. As they move forward, they get sort of around the city square proper, where you can see Maeve now is in the midst of combat with a infernal creature against himself as it lunges and scratches against him, mauling him in the chest as he falls back. The lizard-like creature begins to lunge forward until it slams its large foot, just crunching this infernal creature down into the ground right in front of Maeve. As Autolycus hops down, holds his hand out and lifts him up, and you can see he reaches into his pack, grabs some sort of vial, and just sort of douses it over across Maeve's chest, as he just sort of pats against and just is looking in awe. They're ways away, so you can't really tell if they're, you assume they're speaking to each other, you can't really tell what they're saying, until this lizard-like creature begins to sort of turn and shrink as its body sort of is covered in a whirlwind of leaves and dust. As it falls, the rest of the bags and boxes and all these things sort of clatter against the ground. Some of them break open with a whole bunch of different swords and shields and armorware and all this stuff, as the visage of Finrala begins to come back to her humanoid elf form.
Yeah.
As the druid lady, yes. She just sort of stands there. She says something to Autolycus, and she rushes up and jumps into the air and spreads out and morphs into a giant eagle as she just fucking takes off into the sky and falls and swoops down and grabs one of these infernal creatures and just lifts them up into the air and tosses it off to the side as it comes barreling down leagues away from you. Some of the people now have gathered around and are just becoming armed and armored against this tide of infernal chaos around them, and Autolycus is shouting at them to move further into the city to cast these demons out. For the sake of brevity, would you guys let me know if and what you would be doing to assist all this situation? I won't have us like go through like more random bouts of combat and stuff.
Sure.
However, if you want to aid these people as they are arming themselves against this tide of hell, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the battle.
Hell yeah.
Get in.
Getting where the getting's good.
Get in.
Sounds good. Indigo?
I think I'm gonna participate in the battle, kind of hanging back, firing mind slivers from range, and just sort of like encouraging everyone, like, to arms, everyone. Let's do this.
Lovely, lovely.
Fuck them up.
Fuck them up. Kaz.
For the most part, I'm actually hanging back and just using my bow until I probably run out of
Arrows. Gotcha.
And then it's just anyone who looks like they're getting their shit wrecked, I'll go and give it a hand.
So, just for my sake, I would like everybody to just, Indigo, go ahead and give me a, just give me a general charisma check. You can do that at advantage. Kill, go ahead and just give me a general, let's see. You can probably give me like, you can choose between like athletics or, let's see, athletics, insight, or intimidation. You can choose between those three, and then let me know what you got, and I'll orate something different for each. And then Kaz, give me just a general, we'll say at first, a dexterity check you can make with advantage, and then after that, just give me a general intelligence check.
Okay.
So Indigo.
Nat 20 for 24.
Nat 20, amazing.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Before I tell you what I pick, does it seem like as we're entering the fray and Finrala has done this really dramatic thing and Autolycus, does it feel like the tide has swung to the people, or does it feel like still like desperate? You know what I mean?
Make an insight check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
28.
It seems like the playing field has been leveled now.
Leveled.
Yes.
Okay. Then I will say I made an 18 athletics check.
Athletics, gotcha.
18 to dex, 2 to intelligence.
Okay, sounds good. At this point in the ensuing battle, Kaz, you sort of fall back, and actually at this point you find your way up onto the wall of the sort of first part of the gate to give it a little bit more of a leverage, and you just start loading up and picking off enemies one by one as best you can, loading, knocking, and loosing, and just decimating those within your range until, as the minutes pass and the battle goes on, eventually you don't really pay attention to how many arrows you have left, and you exhaust the amount of ammunition until you are at empty, essentially, and you reach back and you turn, you can't seem to find, and you realize you're out. At this point, some time has passed through the battle, and as you can see across the landscape, you can see Indigo sort of standing on top of a pile of rubble of like perhaps a fallen house or some sort of structure, holding his goblet into the air, taking just swaths of wine from it and just barking out these inspiring, almost like epic poems out into the battlefield, inspiring some of these folks with the power of his voice alone. Every once in a while, casting his arm into the air and, sort of in an incantatory manner, and slicing against the psyche of any of these infernal creatures. And in the thick of the battle, barreling through, slamming his shield and his shell into these creatures. Just at the thick of the fray is Kill, slamming his hammer through and just eating away with the spores at the tide of hell in front of him. With your companions leading the way and your backing up from behind in the artillery, along with Autolycus and Finrala, as she swoops down every once in a while to carry off one of the bigger infernal black hands. The tide quickly turns within matters of minutes. The people are bolstered and fight with a vigor that you probably have never seen a common folk person fight before, with their lives now at the line. However, with this inspiration in front of them, the bared souls in the thick of battle alongside them. They are no longer afraid of their lives in the present, but hopeful for their lives in the future as they fight tooth and nail against the tide of hell in front of them. The time goes by and the battle ensues, and eventually you hear the last of the horrible, hellish shrieks of death of these grotesque creatures as they fall one by one under your arrows, your voice, and your might. Eventually, the air stills. Some folks lost, some still standing, scraped and bruised, but it's very clear the victors here are the townsfolk of ABERL-ARC and their saviors, the bared souls. You each look around as you sort of slump down, a bit exhausted at this point. Sweat dripping down your brows, exhausted of your ammunition, and muscles tensed and fatigued already at this point. And you take finally a sigh of relief as what seems to have been this almost suffocating hold that this province has had over you since you accepted the call to action from the young Rennie till now. You finally feel like you have a moment to just exhale. Michaela, if you'd like to switch to Fable for me, please. And you feel this sort of sense of relief wash over you. Eventually, the Dragonborn Autolycus limps over towards you, Kill, as you just sort of like sit there recollecting yourself, sort of trying to catch your breath and recover. And he limps over. You can see his right leg is like sundered above the knee. Still able to walk, it seems, but definitely not too much more than that. As he drags this great sword to his side, he lifts it, puts it on his shoulder, and holds out his great arm to you, helping you up.
Yeah, I get up. Good to see you again.
I'm glad we made it out of there with our scales intact.
Yeah, I gotta tell you something. We've been through it since we've been here. Me and the other souls, and when we were trying to decide what to do and whether to come back to ABERL-ARC, I thought of our first meeting, and I knew that at least one person here still had a fire to fight. So I just wanted you to know that, made a difference then and today.
Without you, there wouldn't have been a fire to start in the first place. Thank you for stoking this old flame. Let us find the others.
Yeah.
And as you begin to move forward, Indigo, you sort of see from the top of this pile of rubble that you have been commanding from, your friend Kill, sort of arms linked around Autolycus, the larger Dragonborn blacksmith, as they sort of limp through the city, just sort of looking around every once in a while. A few people running up to them who just sort of like are looking for a little bit more direction, like, all right, what do we do now? And Autolycus essentially beckons them to head towards he beckons them to head towards the Garland estate, actually, towards like higher ground, just to get out of the way, just in case if there's anything more that they seem to have missed or anything. And people begin to head that way, northeast.
I'll approach Autolycus and be like, "Hello, good friend. Good. I'm glad you survived the journey."
Likewise.
Yes.
You carry quite a voice.
Oh, thank you. I do rehearse every now and then.
Your other companion, is he all right?
Have you seen him?
Have I seen Kaz recently?
Kaz, how out of the way do you think you would have been?
Well, because after I ran out of arrows, I would have gotten more into the thick of it.
Sure.
But I wouldn't have been making like a big deal about it.
Sure.
Kaz is going through the motions at this point.
No worries. Indigo, I would probably say you had eyes on him at one point, maybe like not too long ago, but at that point you do know that he was firing off arrows before, and then at some point he joined the fray. You're just not too certain of where he is at this point. But Kaz, you do see things have sort of died down now at this point. And from where you are, you do have eyes on them, but it's clear that they don't know where you are.
I don't know where he went. Kaz is, I think, going through some stuff right now. Maybe best to give him a bit of space.
All right, fine with me.
Yes.
Speaking of, having eyes on people, the Garlands have been suspiciously absent since we've been back. Anybody seen any of them?
I have not.
I mean, I saw one of them, and then they vanished.
Or you saw that too? I saw that.
Oh, wait, did you see that, or did I see that?
Did you see that, or did I see that?
I think I saw it and told you about it.
It's been a long day. I don't even remember.
Long day.
Yes. Has anyone seen Marcroft? Do we know where Marcroft is?
Last I saw, he was in the fray. I think him and Maeve might have linked up at some point.
Right. What about, has anyone seen Harry? Or is he maybe been holed up in the estate, or any ideas?
I have not seen him in some time.
Okay.
I pray that they fortified themselves within their home. Probably is the safest place in the city. To why I've directed most of those who have been scattered to head to. Perhaps we will see both of them there.
Yes.
Good. The old man didn't want to come out and relive his glory days, it seems like.
I mean, I'm sort of lost track of who's allegiant to who at this point a little bit. I guess, yes, perhaps we should head towards the Garland estate?
That's where everyone's going, right? Quick question. The demonic transformation of the Black Hands, since the battle has faded, they remain in their current form, right?
That's correct. That is correct.
I'd probably, yeah, I was gonna say I would take a few minutes. I just say, if y'all want, go ahead. I'm just gonna take a minute and see if I can learn a little bit more about what the fuck happened to these.
For sure. Go ahead and just give me your usual harvesting check. You need to take some time. Depending on the height, because there are many available, it'll just sort of depend on how long this takes you.
Yeah, with disadvantage, that's an 11.
11. It takes you some time, as people are gathering and whatnot, you take your time around here, and it takes you some time to even gather like what should or could be harvested from them. And perhaps after like a half hour of like really spending time with like one of these corpses, you're able to harvest some of that protruding onyx bone from their persons. As far as you can tell with anything else, you're not too certain, like maybe their blood is anything more than like usual humanoid blood, but these onyx bone-like protrusions definitely you're fairly certain that this could be used for something. At that point, you can say that you have successfully harvested 4. Cool. We'll just call them, you can just mark them as hell horns.
Hell horns. Cool.
Sounds good. Kaz, you see Indigo, Autolycus, and some of the other folk begin to head towards the northeast, while Kill seemingly has stayed around to investigate one of these fallen creatures for some time. Is there anything in particular that you want to do right now, or?
I'll go ahead and approach Kill, I think.
Okay.
Quietly though. I'm not gonna not gonna say anything. I think you're gonna look up and I'm just gonna be there.
Word. Hello.
Oh, hey. I hope this isn't offensive.
Does it look anything like my horns?
It's not. I mean, they're horns, so you know there's going to be a similarity, but this definitely looks more like your horns feel and are like a part of your bone structure, like a part of your like skeletal system, as far as like you can feel and tell. these almost look like they were, like they erupted, like they were conjured out of these people. They certainly don't look natural in the sense of like, oh, this is a creature that happens to have, you know, bone protrusions. Like that's certainly not the case, as far as you can tell.
We're just right above one of the corpses, right?
Essentially.
Yeah.
I just give it a good hard kick. I don't really give a fuck.
Thump. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck these guys.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry about today. How the fuck did he even get here without us knowing?
I mean, we knew.
I mean, we didn't know he was here, right?
Thorn told us that there was someone who matched his description here.
Oh.
I was looking for him not too long ago.
We haven't been in town very much.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Whoa!
You are not there.
Okay.
Holy shit!
I thought we were all together. Never mind.
No, remember, you went to Autolycus. You're
Okay, fair enough.
He's in my head.
He's just in there, right?
Yeah.
Let go looking still.
Mind sliver. Oh fuck.
Well, there's first of all, I don't know. I don't even know if we really killed Thorn. If we did, then why would he have taken him? And I heard the heart beating and.
But if we hadn't killed him, why would he need another hand?
Well, exactly. I think he just bamboozled us.
Now we got 2 hands, bitch.
I'm not under the impression.
Now I can really grab you.
Yeah.
I'm not quite under the impression that he needed to bamboozle us.
Yeah. No, he seemed to be a pretty serious dude.
Yeah. Well, lying to us to someone that powerful might be like lying to a bug. What are you really accomplishing?
Yeah, I was wondering that a bit, watching you two engage in your different ways, but you know, we all got to do what we got to do. So I just sat back and tried to recover a bit, just in case things turned really south.
Yeah, you got pretty fucked up there for a second.
Yeah, I certainly did.
You doing all right now?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right. That was a proper scrap. There was no fighting that thing.
Oh, right there.
That guy.
The red guy.
Yeah. Tight lip too. Wouldn't give a name. Wouldn't give me his name before.
Yeah, kind of seemed like a self-righteous prick.
I wonder what he's up to. He's pretty fucking cool at the end of the day, though.
Really sexy too.
Yeah.
Very, very high. Yeah.
In the end, I bet he's probably the.
It was pretty nice.
In the end, I kind of wish good things for him, to be honest.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Say.
I just feel it.
Feels like
I just hope he
feels like-
succeeds.
feels
I don't know
like
why.
It's not like something you genuinely feel.
It might not be your feelings. Anyways, you guys do know that he called himself the Five of Hells.
Yeah.
The Five of Hells. So I am under the impression that he, is a fan of hell, devils, demons, whatever the fuck.
Does that sound like a? Cassandra's cards, were they actual tarot cards, or were they just like rando cards?
They were actual tarot
Yeah.
cards, yeah.
Does that sound like a tarot card, kind of?
I know there's a Five of Cups.
Yeah. You think he's like?
I think it might be more of a parallel to like the 5 gods that we worship.
Oh, but he said specifically that he was not a god or couldn't become a god.
Yeah, sort of the antithesis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like light and dark, the 5, the hand, the 5 of Hells.
See, that's pretty fucking dope. I'm getting more on his side the longer we think about it.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
You're so on board with them, to be honest.
It's just real cool and
Well,
calm
he
and
just took
collected,
a
you know.
slaver, a child slaver, and made him incredibly powerful.
Well, he also
I don't
made
know
him a
why-
slave. It's the ultimate diss. It's like a triple dog dare.
They dissed him.
Yeah. I triple dog dare you to make me a slave.
You make it so hard to be a friend sometimes.
Yeah, anyway, I know it was a tough day, but we got things we're celebrating.
Well, I stabbed the future leader of this town, and then my greatest enemy got the power of hell, which was sort of my thing. Ha ha ha. That's a joke. It did not go well.
Did you think that was gonna go well?
You know, I didn't. I just thought maybe it'd feel normal if I made a joke.
That's fair. That's fair. But look on the bright side. Like, Thorn was that dude's previous kind of lead pawn, as far as we know, and we were able to take him out.
You know, now I think about it, is he the Five of Hell? No, you're right. No, the hand, the five. They need a hand of hell. He's the Five of Hells. There's a lot of weird terminology. I don't fucking care anymore. I need a map.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got about all I can get out of this guy thing. So why don't we make our way to the manor?
I'm not 100% sure how much I should be around Moorcroft.
Oh. I think under the circumstances he'll figure it out.
All right.
It's as explainable as anything else that happened today.
It's, you know what? Maybe he even forgot after the whole
That's true.
possession thing.
That's true.
Wait, was everyone watching when I did that?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey. I don't know what they think about you, but they definitely think I'm a fucking hero. So you just stay with me, and I'll vouch for you.
Yeah, alright, why not? Fuck it.
And as we walk towards the manor, I just keep talking about, man, that guy was fucking rad.
So cool again.
Yeah, you see what he did with his fucking hand? It's just like a ball of light, and then he showed up, and then he went down into the hole, and then he came back out, and he was like, damn, I don't give a fuck about anything you guys do.
Man.
Yeah, imagine being that badass.
Can't relate.
Can't relate at all.
See, we don't want to hear any of this.
I just love to be that guy.
I don't know who has the title of best souls if another one of us leaves, but
Oh yeah, you're not allowed to leave. That's the kind of shit you used to say all the time. Nobody fucking leaves unless I say you can leave, cause I'm the captain and y'all are my crew, mate. How'd I do?
Holy fuck. Right, well, I'm Kill, and I fucking side with demons all the time. Fuck you. And I just give him like a slap.
Yeah, that's fucking
I
fancy.
love the British plus Southern equals Australian.
Yes. Oh, you're damn right. That's what it equals. That's so funny. Holy fuck. Very nice.
Hey, Kill.
Yeah.
You're not gonna hear me say this a lot, but thanks for being a good friend.
Yeah, man. I'm here for you.
And if you tell him to go, I said that I will deny it straight to both of your faces.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yo. Oh, Garrett. That's a potion.
It's a whole lot of magic.
That's so much magic. It's a
Powerful potion.
You want that with a little bit of...
Nope.
Alright.
Nope. No, I'm great.
Let's bring that down to a cure minor wounds.
Yeah. Yes, very good. Very good. This greater restoration potion is so bad.
Potion of confidence, if you will.
Yes. For the sake of brevity, the rest of you gather at the estate of the Garlands. As you sort of reunite with each other, and you're looking around, you can see Autolycus is sort of standing at the precipice of the sort of front yard area of the estate. The estate is sort of surrounded by a shallow stone wall. It's very reminiscent of almost like a military post, if that makes any sense. There's no gate or anything, but there's like an open area that the cobblestone path leads up to the property itself. And you can see just beyond him is sort of the front door, where you notice Moorcroft is speaking with someone. As you sort of hone in a little bit more, you can see that it is him and Harry sort of in an embrace, talking, weeping, and holding each other, just sort of at the precipice of this door of this estate.
I'm just sort of watching them like,
Yeah, we saved him. Autolycus, as the people are murmuring and whatnot, Maeve begins to approach him, and he comes up and he whispers something in his ear. And Autolycus just sort of nods. And you can see at this point he has a whole bunch of like bandages and whatnot just sort of wrapped all around his thigh that was killed. You noticed before was just sundered. And he's standing sort of with his right arm draped across this great sword that he leans on the hilt of. and he sort of holds up his hand as the people are murmuring, and they sort of come down to a dull, sort of, not full silence, but their attention is brought to them. Then Autolycus speaks, and he says,
"On this day, we of the town of ABERL-ARC in the land of the Black World, under the banner of the Naledian crown, have stolen back our freedom."
And the people sort of shout out up at that. They cheer into the air and scream and sort of echo battle cries. You can hear from men, women, and children and people alike, just sort of in a cacophony of celebration. He holds his hand back up. Maeve, you can see, is hardly able to contain his own sort of vigor at this as well, trying his best to sort of remain stoic next to the stone wall that is Autolycus. Party drinks. Goddamn right.
Get wrecked.
I just.
It's okay, I've got more.
As Autolycus,
Oh yeah, baby.
next round, baby. As Autolycus holds his hand back up for a bit of order.
Hell yeah!
He just sort of,
All right.
just sort of like gives you a little.
And then I just go a little quieter. I'm like, that's my guy right there.
Goddamn, that got me. He sort of he nods at the people and he says,
"Bad souls, join me."
and he sort of beckons out to the three of you.
See, I told you that was my guy. And I,
Oh, log on.
yeah.
These three heroes came into this land, strangers, and they roiled against the tide of oppression that has yoked upon our shoulders for too long. They loosed our shackles, armed us, and in many ways inspired us to take back what is ours.
And they uproar again into a cacophony of cheers. And at this point, Autolycus sort of shifts his weight, puts it back onto his left leg, takes the great sword and holds it up into the air, and he lets out this draconic roar as this burst of just white essence erupts out of his mouth as he breathes this piercing coldness into the air. And the people just are sort of like, holy fuck, like everyone's like, oh shit. And he just sort of like blows this frigid air out of his nostrils, and he holds the great sword off to his side, and he says,
"And now our Lord has returned."
and he turns and he bends his bad knee as best he can and holds his greatsword down as he looks back up to Markroft and Harry, who are standing hand in hand at the precipice of the Garland estate. And the people just sort of shout and cheer as chants of Markroft, Markroft, Markroft sort of echo out into the air. And eventually, you notice Maeve is just sort of turned and is watching, and Autolycus just fucking like elbows him in the side, and Maeve just, oh shit, and just like gets on his knee and just sort of like stands there for a moment as Harry and Markroft walk up hand in hand, as Markroft just holds his hand up, and as he does, he sort of winces at his side a little bit, and Harry puts his arm around his shoulder and sort of holds him up, and Markroft just sort of says,
"Thank you for not losing faith. Thank you for fighting for what is ours. And thank you for moving on and living in our new home."
and the people just sort of shout in cheers of joy and exultation.
I'll prestidigitation some like fireworks.
I've secretly set up a bunch of boom shroom, and there's just a massive explosion. Yeah.
Everyone dies. No.
Sitting on fire.
At this point,
Burn it to the ground.
Yes.
at this point, many of the townsfolk rush up to Marcroft and Harry and hoist them into the air and just sort of carry them out into the town proper, into the open square of the center of town and celebrate. They sort of not loot the town, but like they go into some of the less fallen buildings. They bring out as much food and drink as they can, and there's just this ensuing celebration in the center of town amidst the rubble of what is left of ABERL-ARC for essentially the rest of the evening now into this day. Maeve and Autolycus, however, stay behind and are seemingly in the midst of a conversation between the two of them as they're just sort of witnessing all of this. And Kill, as you're sort of close to this with your passive perception, you can kind of get an assertion of what they're talking about. They seem to immediately be going into like the what's the word I'm looking for? The logistics of like, all right, well, what's next? Essentially. Maeve just sort of nods over to you all, and Autolycus just sort of nods his head, and he looks at you and says,
I do not know. This rebuilding, I don't know how long it could take. I don't know really what the next step should be. My question to you, I suppose, would be, what do you plan to do next?
Well, I don't know about the rest of you. I want to find out more about this Five of Hells person.
Oh, we still have a couple of gemstones, I think.
Could try.
Granted, he doesn't really answer any questions.
Yeah, we do have the one that didn't get luck deactivated, and I do pull it out of my...
I think we may wish to wait to use that until it's absolutely necessary, because it seems like he can just cut it off whenever he wants.
I was going to say, the one that he pulls out, is it still glow, or is
when
it
you pull it out,
I have two. I have one that lost its glow and one that is still glowing.
the one that you pull out that was glowing still, you can see that there's a sunder in it, and it is dull at this point.
Never mind then.
Yeah, I had a feeling he would know that those weren't... None of them were with their rightful owners anymore. Well, I mean, I don't know how long in total we're going to stick around, but I don't mind sticking around a bit.
Does anyone know what errant is?
No, as far as I can tell.
Maeve speaks up and says,
As far as some of the others that were inside that were able to look around and whatnot, it seems as though he sort of disappeared. I wouldn't put it past them to try to just leave this whole situation, I guess, if what you had mentioned before, something about jewels sort of falling.
I was going to say, what about Harry's folks? Anybody seen them?
Jewels I have not. According to Harry, his father went into the mines as well, along with Thorn. He didn't emerge.
Do we think the mines are completely caved in, or is it just the entrance?
Perhaps the next...
you're not entirely certain. The entrance certainly is caved in, but
I'd like to investigate that if we can. If we have any way of getting inside.
Perhaps the next stop should be Emmershaw then. Try to get the mines there, because we know it connected.
I mean, in general, if we can get into the mines, it seems like whatever happened here is somehow connected to something in the mines. It seems like that's where Thorn transformed into his, final form or whatever.
Yeah.
Perfect Thorn.
Perfect Thorn.
Yeah, but he's not yet Kid. Kid Thorn is the worst one, though.
Kid Thorn is the worst
Yeah.
one.
If we ever see Kid Thorn, fucking run.
Fuck, Kid Thorn and Perfect Thorn. That's so solid.
When they're like, "Oh yeah, Kid Boo is stronger than," I'm like,
Sure.
Okay, you lost me.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, yeah, well, we can definitely try to see if we can excavate. I mean, you know me, I can.
Oh yes, you can move.
I can move Earth pretty handily. I think given enough time, we could probably get in there. I guess we probably need an audience with. Probably got to sit down with Marcroft and talk about what he wants to
Not
do.
to interrupt. However, speaking of audiences, there was meant to be a sort of a meeting with some of the local lords in the neighboring provinces with King Eodrin.
Yeah.
Yes. How is the rest of the sort of region going to react to what happened here?
That is a good question. I am concerned not only sending Marcroft this soon, but how to best go about relaying of this. And Maeve sort of, if I may, Autolycus, it would be my purview to sort of insist that you are the one who represents us as we further establish ourselves here. I believe the people, more than the king, need Mary's presence here, along with Harry. Harry has been here with the people for, these odd some months and years, under the influence of Thorn. And Mary's been locked away. So for him to step away so quickly, of course they would follow under your guiding hand, but you're well respected, a veteran of the Tens. I mean, surely King Eodrin would recognize, especially if you were to make the trip in his stead, and explain what had happened, and not to overstep my boundaries with whatever you're planning. However, I would also ask you if you would be interested. I know you are not, I know that you are travelers. However, you had such a hand in this revolution. I would be remiss in seeing you go unrewarded. As you can see, I'm not entirely sure how much we could offer here, especially rebuilding. But if Eodrin knows that you are instrumental in restoring order to one of his more lucrative estates here, I mean, I can't speak for the man, but if I were king, I would shower riches upon you.
Can I ask you a question, actually? Do you think that I know we already know this out of character, but I forget. How long has Marcroft been put away and Thorn's been in power?
Quite some time.
Yeah. I mean, King Adrian knew that Thorn was in the Sovereign here, right?
Say that again, sorry?
I'm back in character, so I'm saying King Adrian knew that Thorn was leading this place and not Marcroft, right? After all these years?
I would assume so, but if it was true that Mary was put in there unlawfully.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Mary was set up for the job and the king knew, why didn't they send liberators to?
If I might take a step in here, I doubt King Eodrin knew that Thorn was involved with demons, devils, hells, whichever one it was.
Well, I know.
So it's possible that he just thought Thorn was a regular benevolent leader. After all, Thorn had a writ from the king, didn't he?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If the king rightfully, in other words, the king either rightfully installed Thorn and the writ was real, or the writ was fake, and
he didn't care.
Right? And so I just wonder, how that might make one feel.
I'm interested to know as well. I think, at the very least, this needs to be relayed further up. I would hope to the gods that Adrian didn't realize that this was the plot all along. I don't know.
Have we searched? Did Thorn have any sort of correspondence that we haven't found yet? Say, sort of documents that might give us some clue as to what he was up to?
I definitely think we should take some time and
Yes.
Search the manor.
Search fucking everywhere as
Those
far as
parts
I'm
of the manor we
concerned.
hadn't gotten to yet. Is that right?
I was in the manor, but for sure there's Ibrahim's study that's got shit in there. Really, I don't know how soon you got to leave Autolycus for the meeting, but you know, if we can help kind of unbury this place, we can look for whatever clues we can find. The study was caved in, but I'd like to uncover as much as we can if we're gonna have a meeting with the king. And frankly, I'm probably gonna say some shit that's like illegal or whatever. So I don't even know if I should be there.
You can leave most of the talking to me, if that would make you feel.
Can I though? Is the real question.
I would hope.
You know what I mean?
What? What are you saying? But I don't know what you mean.
Like I'm
not
not.
gonna say
I know.
I don't want to. But
Yeah, I know. I may leave the talking to them, but can I leave the talking to them? You know, I'm picking up my drift.
Do we know anyone who can cast silence? Perhaps that might help.
I could make a really loud minor illusion and just drown him out.
I don't know if we want to draw that much attention to ourselves.
Yes, probably not.
Yeah.
I know thaumaturgy. I can make myself real loud if I want to be heard.
I mean, I get not having impulse control. If you really feel like you're going to cause a problem.
No, I'm
you don't
okay.
want to.
This is so stupid.
I'll be all right. It's not really an impulse control
I have a
problem.
ball
It's
gag.
that I don't know what I don't know what's.
And you're just now telling us.
I've had a ball gag this entire time.
I mean,
Do you have a ball gag on your character sheet?
motherfucker.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Is that a part of the standard adventurers kit? Is that a part of the Dungeoneers pack?
You're damn right it is.
I feel like we had some.
I'm about to go
stop us from
spelunking.
being fully idiots.
We went through a lot.
Anyway,
Right.
so when is the meeting? When would you be leaving?
Well,
It's okay. Enjoy your chip. You earned it.
I tried my best.
Yeah.
I
Is that a shrimp cocktail you got there?
Oh, actually, yes. Very delicious. One of my friends made it for me.
Oh, okay, great.
He swigs. No, he thinks for a moment and says, if I remember correctly, it's during the solstice, so about maybe a 10 from today. It's going to take, excuse me, at least half to get there. So we'd probably have to leave in about 5 days.
Okay.
I think that should be plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm okay to spend some time and try to gather clues. Help you find your boy. Maybe see where they. Hey, maybe he's in hell right now.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Is that offensive?
I mean, I've never been there. I don't think of it as my home.
Okay, just checking.
Listen, I know, and I'd like to take a step back. The devil is strong in me.
Yeah.
We've met a few tieflings on our journeys, and they've been very pale, one horn. So, like,
Yeah.
I understand that I look like I stepped right out of a flaming portal. But
Solid.
You're a real Lebensborn of the.
a Lebensborn.
Never mind.
I don't know. Listen, I spent 10 years of my life locked on a trunk and the next 10 on a ship. I don't know shit about fuck, alright? So whatever references you're making.
That's a eugenics reference. Anyway, moving on.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
I've seen that anime.
Eugenics high.
Oh my lord. Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you? Tell you what. Why don't even you guys? Why don't we try to enjoy the festivities with the people? I think they'd not only like to see you there, but you certainly earned it. And then we'll talk it over and figure it out.
I certainly would like a drink. Would you accompany me, Maeve?
Fuck yes. And they hobble their way towards the party. What would the three of you like to do right now?
I'd like to go talk to Mary and Harry.
Mary and Harry.
Mary and Harry.
Sounds good. You begin to make your way towards the party as well. Cast and kill.
That's where I'm headed.
Sure.
I am avoiding Mary.
Word.
So as you guys are leaving, I'll just be like, I'm actually just gonna go help out people doing reconstruction and all that.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys keeping it light.
Yes, that's I do try. I know we went through some heavy shit today, but
It seems like every other day.
Yes.
It's just heavy shit.
Seems like a lot of things happen all the time, constantly.
Right, yeah. So,
This is the life of an adventurer, right?
I suppose that's true.
it feels like a lot of it's on
Your
me,
standard,
I'll be honest.
your standard everyday adventurer goes through these same things, right?
Yes.
I'm just saying, I appreciate you guys, and maybe I'm not your captain, but your friend.
I told you you'd figure it out.
Go, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna help people.
You begrudgingly go help others
I
against.
gladly go and help them.
Oh, yeah.
Grudgingly compliment.
Yes, there you go. Indigo, you begin to make your way into a much more comfortable situation where there are folk in ecstatic revelry around you, celebrating and drinking and singing and dancing.
Now, this is what I'm dressed for.
Many folk pat you on the back and come up to you and embrace you as one of their heroes as you move through. Eventually, you find your way to the center of this maelstrom where you see one of the benches that sort of exists near the sort of center of the town, where it sort of surrounds the sort of central fountain that sort of marks the exact midpoint of the town. The fountain cracked and sundered. Oddly enough, this bench right in front of it, nearly untouched. Rubble a little bit around it from the cracked fountain behind it, and maybe a little bit waterlogged from some of the cascaded water from the fountain, but structurally totally sound. Mary and Harry both sit there with two full goblets in their, or actually rather just like wooden cups into their hands, just sort of leaned up. Harry sort of leaned up against him, Mary resting his head on top and just sort of like looking out, smiling into the crowd. And Harry notices you as you approach and he says, "Indigo."
Boys, wonderful to see you reunited.
And they stand up and they move over. Harry embraces you first, and Mary sort of pats you on the shoulder, and he says, "I can't thank you enough for what you've done here."
Well, I know I do what I can. I'm glad everything worked out.
You saved me.
Oh, well, I couldn't let you go to hell. I mean, that would be very unpleasant, I imagine.
Not only couldn't you let me do that, but you succeeded in keeping me from that. And for that, I am forever in your debt.
Oh, think nothing of it.
You were too kind. And Harry,
People tell me that all the time.
Harry just sort of holds you out at arm's length and really looks at you and says, "If it were not for you, this would not be possible. Maybe someday, let that sink in."
I shall try. Is everything good? Has someone sent for Rennie?
And Mary just sort of inhales and exhales and says, "I was actually conversing with Harry about that." And Harry sort of interjects and says, "My hope is that we will be able to ride out to him and bring him back as soon as possible. I've volunteered myself to take a few men to head down there to hopefully find whereabouts he and Gisanda are, and we can rouse him back." Mary is being a bit stubborn, as he usually tends to be, and Mary just sort of says, "I'd like to be there when I'm there to bring my brother back. Is that too much to ask? I feel it would be terrible if someone else showed up upon my behalf." And Harry says, "You are needed here. The people need you to help them rebuild. Surely Rennie would be excited to see you no matter what."
You are both adorable. I love everything that's happening.
They laugh, and at this point, Kill, you've sort of also communed with the party and everything going on. You sort of catch wind of this conversation. And Mary says, "So, long story short, we're still trying to figure out who to send. and hopefully we could do that relatively soon, so that we can get to my brother and get him home safe. Not that I don't think he's safe with Cassandra. It's just, you know,
No, I understand.
he belongs where he belongs.
He's waited a long time to see you.
Yes.
As have I. As have I.
Not to bring the mood down a little bit. Harry, I understand your parents are missing.
Yes.
I feel I don't know if anyone's already told you. I feel I should inform you. I did see your mother come out of the mines. This was.
It was actually
Was it
me.
you?
It's actually me that saw her, but this isn't
Wait, it's very-
this isn't important. I'm sorry, you know.
Saw this,
I'm so
and-
empathetic.
I'm an empath, so it's like I saw it. Yes, we saw. Out of character, was this last night, or I forget when it was?
Yeah, I think it was last night.
Last night. While we were sort of hiding out from, the law. I did see Jules come out of the mines. She sort of collapsed, and then it was though she just sort of vanished. I don't know what that means, but I thought that you should know.
Thank you. The previous night I was held up here. My father told me that he and Mother were heading into a meeting with Lord Thorn, and I begged them not to go. And from my window, I saw what you saw.
Oh, you did.
I don't know what it means. I don't know if they're gone. I was trying not to think about it too much. And hopefully we would find some time, looks over to Mary, to try our best to get back into the mines. And Mary says, of course.
Yes, we were thinking the same thing.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I can definitely help with that.
I will pull the stones myself. And Harry just sort of, all right, relax. My father and my mother were very devout companions to Thorn. It does not surprise me that they went in there. I don't know.
Well, one way or another, I'm sure we'll find answers.
I think so too.
She wouldn't even let you set foot in that mine, and there she was.
I have a feeling she was worried perhaps the same fate might befall me.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's party, everyone.
And they sort of shout at that as well. And you can see Harry trying his best to sort of shake off those thoughts as well and focus on the here and now.
I have a few ideas, but we can talk tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you all party it up and help some people best you can, and you all level up to level 6.
Hey, Tony was telling me to bother you about it.
Yeah.
Tony Romo.
Yeah, fucking relax, Eric. You'll be fine.
My level 6 feature sucks.
Yeehaw.
That means I'm that much closer.
So actually, what I want to do is something a little bit different. I want to level up on stream. I want us to talk about what you guys might be thinking about. I want us to roll some HP. I just want the audience to sort of get like a mini behind the scenes sort of look at like how this kind of stuff works.
Cool.
And we'll talk about some stuff maybe character building wise and stuff, and maybe we can have like a mini little retrospective on what we just played and stuff right now, and we'll just sort of go till maybe for another half hour, how long
Also,
it takes us, but we're gonna
it's
kinda
early
chill.
and it's a perfect time to stop. So
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't want to just end the stream an hour early, but I feel like this doesn't happen in
cool.
most streams that I've seen. Usually this kind of stuff happens off screen, so this might be.
Fucking sick.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Fuck yeah, extra. So, this is gonna be super chill. And if you guys have any questions in chat or anything like that, or if you're like, blah blah blah, I don't know, or whatever.
Could you do like a small, because Extra just got here.
Oh, what up, extra? Yeah, while
A lot of
they're
shit happened today.
a lot of shit happened. Yeah. So essentially, if you're just joining us now and you're a regular, like Extra is, thank you, friend. A lot of stuff just happened. So when we return, or well, I'm gonna let you guys look through some of your stuff and then take some time or whatever.
I can go anytime because mine's super simple.
Great.
Just so you know.
So right now, the party is leveling up to level 6. We just essentially finished off the main part of this second arc of our show, which is really cool. I'm just gonna call it the ABERL-ARC arc. And the beginning, the ABERL-ARC, yeah, for sure. Excuse me. But essentially, as you know, if you joined us last week, if you caught reroll last night, we left off at the defeat of Lord Ilan Thorn. And so we opened up this episode with a little bit of an incensed and almost possessed Sirikaz, who was denied his God's given right to exact vengeance upon Ilan Thorn because Marcroft was the one to get the killing blow, which is both thematically cool, but also mechanically Garrett has been consistently getting most of the killing blows, which is really funny that he sort of like invoked the will of the god of vengeance. So because he was denied that for the first part of the episode and the session, he was sort of incensed to move against Marcroft because he stole this kill from him. But with some quick spell casting and some psychic affliction against him via Indigo and some quick thinking in that regard, he was relatively quickly snapped out of that.
Would that have worked even if it wasn't psychic damage, out of curiosity?
It would have had to have taken a much more of an effort.
Okay.
The DC would have been higher.
Yeah, but because it was specifically psychic damage and you dealt like a pretty high amount of psychic, it was like 7, right, or something like that. Yeah, it was like that specifically. I was like, oh shit. That's not something I thought about, but like in the moment I was like, oh yeah, the DC is gonna be way lower because that's like the perfect sort of trigger for that to happen.
Yeah. I did do like 22 points of damage to Marcroft.
Yeah, you fucking yeah, it was tough. After he used his second wind, he healed 10 from that, but still he was like, if you hit him again like that same amount, he would have been done. So that was quickly subsided, and then as they were sort of gaining their bearings, the earth started to tremor and quake, and the ground underneath the body of Ilan Thorn opened up and his body fell through. Marcroft, being near that, almost fell as well, but Kill, after being revived by Marcroft, used his reaction to essentially use the earth under him to catch him from falling and saved him. And then after that, a strange entity sort of made their presence known in a very effective and dramatic way. The same humanoid that Indigo has had visions of a couple sessions back. A dark crimson skinned tiefling with black onyx armor appeared there and seemingly called themselves the Five of Hells, and we can all sort of assume that he is the master that Thorn was essentially taking orders from and conversing with, and that's who the Knights Round were able to converse with through their ruby gemstones that the party had been finding throughout their persons and their places of living. There was a very tense interaction with them, nearly losing Marcroft in the process, and
losing Indigo in the
nearly losing Indigo in the process as well. And eventually a sort of deal was struck with this entity, allowing them to fulfill the role that the party had removed Thorn from, which apparently is referred to as the Hand of Hell, or the Hell Hand, either which way. And beckoning forth some person in the crowd that had gathered watching this event, it was revealed that Eric Stant has been in the sort of outskirts of the city for some time and had gathered here, and this devil entity beckoned him forward, and he accepted the call, even at the behest of Sirikaz trying his best to attack Eric Stant, who made his presence known.
I went for the jugular.
Oh yeah, baby.
real quick.
Yes, of course.
Apparently my hit points has been set to fixed. Should it not be?
It should not be fixed. It should be
Fixed
rolled.
to rolled.
Yes.
Will that just like wait? And now,
It's gonna take you longer to figure out because you're gonna have to roll.
You're gonna have to roll
yeah,
a bunch
of
of.
fixed or manual right now.
Manual is what it is.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I guess you're gonna have to roll 5d. What is it? 8 for sorcerers.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Damage, HP.
I don't know if it's 8 or 6.
It should be. Oh yeah.
Because the first one's automatic. Automatic max.
Automatically max.
I'll
Yes.
see how what else we do here.
They might keep your current HP. I'm not sure.
All right, well, we'll figure it out.
No worries. So essentially, that person fucked off with the body of Thorn and with Eric Stant, and then there was an ensuing battle that took place inside ABERL-ARC, with the remaining Black Hand guards turning into sort of like hellish devil-like creatures that were sort of assailing the townsfolk at the time. And finally, Autolycus the Dragonborn blacksmith returned with Finrala, the druid that seemingly was locked away in the stone home. Finrala had assumed the form of what essentially would be like a Stegosaurus-like creature, and like burst into town with Autolycus on her back, bringing loads of reinforcements of weapons and armors and shields and stuff like that. They armed the forces of the townsfolk of ABERL-ARC and took back the town. Mary was reunited with Harry. Autolycus is going to be attending the sort of local province meeting of like lords and other sovereigns at the table of King Eodrin at the capital of Crunbale, and has invited the Baird Souls to join him in sort of regaling this encounter and the past few years of this essentially torment that the town of ABERL-ARC has endured. And essentially right now, the team has leveled up to level 6. They're enjoying a party, and we're just going to talk about what they're going to be taking for this level. Maybe we can talk about more stuff. We can answer maybe some questions live from chat if you guys have any questions or anything like that. But we can start on with Matt if you pretty much have.
Yeah, mine's very simple. So I guess I'll roll my hit dice. So just you know, since we're kind of assuming that you guys don't know how this works, so for druids, our hit dice are d8s, and so basically every character level, I'm gonna roll a d8, and I get to add that many plus my Constitution modifier, extra hit points.
Yeah. So I do want to note, I am going to change something.
Oh.
So what I've been doing for my game is you can do it rolled or you can do it fixed. Fixed HP increase is you just take half the dice, the hit point dice that you have, and add your con modifier and just put that into your HP. You don't roll or anything.
It's kind of rounded down.
It's rounded down, yes.
So on a d8, you'd get a 4.
You get a 4, and then you add your con and then add it in. We're still not going to do that. We're still going to be rolling. However, what I used to do is generally, if you rolled less than half, you would just take the half. So you would just take the fixed.
Yeah.
I am changing that from this going forward. We will still roll. You'll add your con or whatever. However, it's going to be it's not more punishing, but it's just going to be a little bit more based on the dice. If you get a 1, you can re-roll.
Okay.
If you hit 1s, you can re-roll. That's fine. But anything else, we're taking straight up.
Fine.
Cool.
It's a little more true to the rules.
It's a little more true. Yeah.
Well, it's a 2.
There you go. You'll be taking the 2.
Yeah. Okay.
You can add you automatically add the con when you put it in.
So will I be basically like rolling back and re-rolling dice for each of my levels?
What does it say your HP is now?
So my current HP is 37. That's the fixed value.
Incredible.
When I brought up this, I mean, if you want to look at this, when I brought up the screen, it says my rolled HP is 22. I don't know if that's just like.
Okay, so
it's
it's
just been getting the fixed.
Yeah, it kept everything the same, so you're good. So go ahead and just roll whatever dice that you need to roll for your HP.
So it's their D6.
So the first level
Nice.
is the first level max.
It's already done. So you just roll a 6.
You're done. Yeah, you all your health is normal for level 5. Now that you're level 6, you roll a D8 and then just
D6.
add the number. Or sorry, a D6 and add the number.
Because my HP on my sheet is 37, and the fixed value is also 37.
Right.
Is that
Great.
what it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because you've been playing fixed the whole time, and I don't want to have to go back and re-roll things.
Like redoing it.
No.
Okay, so I gotcha.
So what you're gonna do is you'll roll the D6.
I think I just closed it out. Shit.
It's okay. So what you're gonna do is roll the D6. You take the number and you just add it to the 22.
Okay.
Okay, and then it will automatically add your
my con mod.
No, you
It'll
do not have to do
automatically
that.
add the con mod.
D&D Beyond will do that automatically.
Okay, cool.
Yes. If this was without D&D Beyond, you would have to mathematically do that. But D&D Beyond, shouts out to them, they automatically roll it in.
Okay.
Garrett, you rolled an 8, so max, which is awesome.
Matt saw it, so
Fuck yeah.
Annoying to get
Do you,
shit. I lost
do you want to answer the 2 questions that the chat has so far?
Yeah, absolutely. What's up?
So Extra asked, do you have, but are there any subclass level ups?
That's a good question. Yeah, are you guys sticking true to your classes for
Does
level
he mean
6?
multi-class or subclass features?
Oh, okay.
I am getting a new subclass feature.
Awesome.
At level 6. I don't know about you guys.
so
You just click manage HP.
Expertise is very good. Yeah.
And you roll d6. And so you're just going to increase your rolled 22 plus 3 to 25.
So I changed this to 25.
Yep.
And then you're all set there.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so Garrett, as a rogue at level 6, gets expertise in 2 skills, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So which skills are you picking, do you think?
So I can increase it in my thieves tools and a
Ooh.
skill,
Okay, cool.
or I can do 2 skills. I have athletics, deception, perception, sleight of hand, and thieves tools.
Nice.
I've been doing actual thief shit, so I think I kind of want to go with thieves tools and sleight of hand.
I think those are 2 great options.
Yeah.
For sure. So for those of you who don't know, expertise essentially doubles your proficiency modifier. Your proficiency modifier is a static, a static additive bonus that you get as you level up. It just continues to increase as you level up. At level 6, I believe you have a +3 to your proficiency.
Yes, I do.
With expertise in a skill, you get to double that. So Garrett can make his sleight of hand checks in addition to his dexterity modifier, which I believe is +4.
Yes, it is.
He gets to add double proficiency. So his sleight of hand checks are going to be +10 from now on, which is very good.
Yeah.
And I think that's all that changes. I still have my 3d6 for sneak attack.
Your sneak attack. Oh, you still have 36. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that might change, but sounds good. I think next level you get to be doing instead of just uncanny dodge. I think you get evasion.
I'm 99% sure you're correct. I'm looking at my
This is very
sheet
cool.
to see if anything else changed real quick.
Hell yeah. Matt, so you get a
Yeah,
subclass
so
sort of upgrade?
so basically for druids, we get another prepared spell every level. So I'll get to add 1 more prepared spell after each long rest. I get a third level spell slot.
Nice.
So I can cast my most powerful spells 3 times a day instead of just twice. And then I do get a subclass feature at level 6. Do I want to say what it is, or do I want to save it for the moment?
Ooh, it's up to you, buddy.
I'm gonna save it for the moment, but I'm gonna say it's a subclass feature, so it's kind of related to the spooky version of druids that I'm playing. The kind of creepy, spooky, undead, druidy stuff. It's not very. It's tough to use. It's not the most powerful thing, but it's very thematic, and when I do it, it'll be very fun.
Fuck yeah. I love that for you, buddy.
Yeah. You can always Google it if you really
Google
need
it,
to know.
motherfucker. Yeah, but don't do that. Be surprised.
Eric said, do any of them have feats? Which
I don't
Nope.
think we do.
6th level, they don't. I think the next available feat that
Be level
they'll
8.
be able to take is level 8 with all of them, I think. But Jamie, do you have I think you get an extra spell slot as well, I think,
Yeah,
right?
it's spell slots. I'll pick my spell in a minute here.
Sure.
But, so my class feature at 6th level I get is called Bend Luck.
Ooh.
Starting at 6th level, you have the ability to twist fate using your wild magic. When another creature you can see makes an attack roll, an ability check, or saving throw, you can use your reaction in spending 2 sorcery points to roll 1d4 and apply the number rolled as a bonus or penalty, your choice to the creature's roll. You can do so after the creature rolls, but before any effects of the roll occur. So,
That's very cool.
yeah.
I liked it a lot, and I just saw that. So yes, some of them do have feats now, Eric. Specifically, they're actually the 2 of you have homebrew feats, which are awesome. Garrett specifically has a homebrew feat that Matt made, which is really cool. Matt has been sort of tinkering with a whole bunch of what did you call them? They're essentially revised feats.
What I did is
It's a version of athlete.
Yeah.
Which athlete in general kind of sucks.
What I did is I took the whole list of essentially non-combat feats, or feats that are at least not focused on combat, and I tried to make them so that they're the ones that are particularly weak. I tried to make them a little bit stronger at low levels, but in particular, my goal was that as as you level up, that they continue to be interesting and cool and reflect getting more powerful. So you know, in the case of athlete, where Garrett has it now, where Kaz has it now, it's a little bit stronger and a little bit more interesting than the base feat. You still get your sort of basically you get
do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
I can just read it. Let me get down to it. So base level athlete. I gotta clear whoever. I think I rolled Hellish Rebuke on accident. Okay. You have undergone extensive physical training to gain the following benefits, which is increase your dex or strength score by 1. I'm positive I did dex. Neither climbing nor swimming costs you extra movement, so I can do that at regular speed.
Which is very cool.
And you can make a running long jump or running high jump after moving only 5 feet on foot or rather than 10 feet. Which I believe is mostly the basic athlete.
Yeah. So it's mostly the basic athlete, but I added the climb and swim speed stuff.
Got it.
I took away something else that's very stupid and pointless. I don't even remember what it is, but it was so convoluted that nobody ever used it. And then
I have it at the 5th level. Which is like we kind of did like as a separate feat just to make it work better.
And that sort of followed correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that followed the progression of like cantrips.
Yeah. So which also followed the progression of what they call tiers of play. So tier 1 is basically level 1 through 4, and then 5 through 8, and then 9 through 13, or 9 through 12, 13 through 16, and then 17 through 20 are like the 5 tiers of play. So the feats that I designed, you can get them as early as level 1 if you're a variant human, but then they basically level up at 5, at 11, and at 17. So at level 5, you got an extra feature out of the feat.
I believe it was proficiency in acrobatics, or here, when you reach level 5, your athletic prowess manifests in ways beyond calisthenics. Did you write that?
I did.
That's funny. You gain proficiency in strength as athletics or dexterity acrobatics checks. If you've gained proficiency from another source, you gain expertise with that skill, which means your proficiency bonus is doubled. That's how expertise works. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
So on my acrobatics, I got expertise in.
Which is really cool because of the pairing of your specific class. So like you get essentially an extra expertise among the I think you have a total of 5 expert skills, I think now as a rose, which you would only have 4.
You can get 2 at 1. And
I had 3 expertise, and we just added 2 more from the level up.
So yeah, you're at 5 now.
Yeah,
which is just really cool. Usually that only is present in like a bard, but because of the way that Matt has concocted this particular revised feat, it feels really cool to be like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking like super acrobatic and like athletic and stealthy rogue.
So the goal for these scaled feats, I called them, is that I'm not trying to make them like so powerful that you feel like you have to take them like so many other feats, particularly the combat ones, but just that it makes it so that like if you find a feat that's really thematic for your character, but it sucks so hard that you could never take it, that like they'll at least be interesting and fun, and you get little add-ons as you level up. And so do you mind if I tell them what they do at higher levels?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So that one I remember. At level 11, you I don't remember the little flavor text, but at 11 you can't go prone.
You don't mean you remember word for word exactly what you wrote?
So at 11 you can't be forced to go prone. So you're just awesome. You're just enough of an athlete that you have control of your body that you can't go prone. And then at level 17, I don't remember exactly what it is, but I know that you can jump 3 times higher than you normally can.
Yep.
And then something else too. And the goal with that was basically so that you can, like, while level 17 spellcasters are reshaping reality, at least you can be Hercules and jump real high.
You might be able to bend time to your will. I can jump 6 feet in the air.
And in fact, athlete was the feat that kind of inspired the whole thing, because I realized that there was no real way to like play like a Greek demigod that's just like inhumanly strong, but isn't magical.
Right.
And so that was kind of the inspiration for it. And I've written there's like 12 or 15 feats that I've written in this scaled fashion.
Yes. And to answer Eric's question, he asked if there was a list of them. Yes, I mean, Matt basically redid pretty much all of the non-combative feats. Yeah. And my goal is, once we sort of get them to a point of, when I say publication, that's not necessarily the right word I mean, but I have a plan where I'm going to be getting them sort of illustrated in the sense of like when you look at them like on the page of like the player's handbook or whatever. I'm gonna get it sort of formatted in that way, and then the plan is hopefully to be releasing them on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really good shit, which I'm actually still working on. I had to take a little pause on getting the Desmua party pack on there because I'm actually having that become illustrated, which is really cool. So
I finished a short story I can send your way. If you
amazing,
need that.
yeah. So we can fill it up with that. So be on the lookout. Like I actually like doing this. I think especially maybe every month. Maybe we could probably, I don't know if timing it out correctly will ever work, but we could probably try our best for every month. We can sort of end the stream maybe like a half hour to an hour early or something like that, and just sort of converse about this a little bit more casually.
Sure.
But a lot of these things that we've homebrewed either on my end or Matt's end, or you know the flavor stuff that Garrett produces and all that, my goal is eventually to have pretty much all of it on the Patreon. And then you can just, you know, pretty much all of that will be available just at the single tier. That way it's easy and super accessible for anybody to get. Yeah, paywalled, motherfucker. Yes, you're right. But you know, like we might eventually like upload it onto like, we might grandfather it into like DM's Guild or something like that and just set it as like a pay what you want or something like that. But for the most part, I think they're just really good, and you know, I don't know. We want to upgrade our stuff as best we can, and providing a service is providing a service. So yeah. But yes, and then I did see you. You're hilarious. Extra says, just got hit with an idea, a fully homebrewed class called Puppeteer that can use magical dolls to fight, sort of like familiars, but they are stronger, can actually attack and do normal actions instead of just the normal familiar things. Don't really know how that would work in 5e because, you know, it'll probably be complex, but whatever. I like that a lot. I love the idea of, I don't know, I just like the idea of sort of being like this, you're very heavily in like the familiar sort of territory, which Matt has sort of been kind of dabbing in a little bit with the idea of you know, the conjure animals like consistently. He's just been washing the shit out of me with, which is the only sort of, that's the thing where I would be like, oh, it might be a little imbalanced, because it's not to say that it's like super overpowered to use conjure animals in the way that you've been effectively doing it, which is good. I feel like it would get carried away pretty quickly because of the economy of how much you'd be able to do with multiple familiars, you know what I mean? Which I think is why, that's probably why you don't see that often, you know what I mean? Even with the revised Beastmaster Ranger, like you get one pet, you know what I mean? Like
there is, it was Extra that suggested.
Extra said that,
Extra. There's a guy, I forget his name, but he created a homebrew class called the Shaman, which is super fucking dope. I highly recommend you check it out. There's a subclass in the Shaman that is, I forget what it's called, but it's basically inspired by kind of like voodoo, hoodoo type things. And I believe it might be called like the I don't remember what it's called, but it might kind of, you know, interest you to check it out.
Very cool.
I wish I remembered the designer's name, but if you Google it, you'll probably find it.
Word.
I think his name is Ross something. So if you find it, check it out. Yeah, I've been working on class design and also subclass designs, and I'll tell you what, subclasses are fucking cake compared to designing a whole class. It's a lot of fucking
nice.
Because you also gotta, if you design a puppeteer class, you gotta have 3 or 4 subclasses that you can make off it. And that's kind of the test for if something should be a subclass or a class is, can you make 3 or 4 different subclasses of puppeteer? If you can, go for it. Sure. I'd love to see your ideas.
I mean, is it like so it's its own class?
Well, I think the suggestion was that it was a class.
That's what
It's like an artificer or subclass, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be an artificer. Could be a bard, maybe.
Could be a bard too.
You know, could be a lot of stuff.
For sure.
I feel like if it's a bard, it's your puppet is like people.
Well, yeah.
that might work.
Actually, that's kind of what I was thinking, is that you're puppeting the people, but you're talking about actually like minions.
Yeah,
physical.
I gotcha, okay.
Sort
of like think that. I mean, I think only Garrett would get this, but there's a character in Naruto that, like, that's his whole thing.
Gotcha.
There's also a character in Mob Psycho 100.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just a little girl, wooden doll.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah.
Tony had a question a while ago too that was,
where the hell?
What the hell? Magic is my spell.
Sure.
Sounds That sounds like there's some good utility to it.
Sure.
Also, are they playing Tasha's Cauldron for more class options?
We have. So I have a lot of the, if not all of the, like updated. I don't want. Are they source books or are they a different?
Tasha's is a core book. You have it.
Yeah, it's a core. Yeah. So I have all of the updated ones that like Xanathar's. Xanathar's, Tasha's, some of the stuff from Critical Role as well. That's pretty
None
cool.
of us are using Tasha's, although
None of you are actively doing it, but it's available to you.
Yeah, so
they just have to pick it, and I have to recognize that that's the case. But it's available to them. It's unlocked in our D&D Beyond campaign and everything.
Circle of Druids. I'm sorry, Circle of Spores Druid was reprinted in Tasha's. It was originally printed in Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. So in a way, I'm using Tasha's content. And I don't think any of us have taken any of them, but there's a lot of really good feats in Tasha.
Yeah, they are. They're really cool. We were talking about that on the podcast the other day, that there are a handful of optional class feats from Tasha's.
Optional class features we have used.
Oh, okay.
Because as an example, Druids can now expend a use of Wild Shape to create a familiar for an hour.
Oh, there you
and
go.
I've done that a few times in this campaign.
So that's a great example.
That's an optional class feature I have used.
Which those are cool.
Yeah,
for sure.
And just a lot of really like quality of life things where like when you get a certain level, you can just swap like some cantrips or something. Basically, it just lets players change their mind on stuff, which I think is great.
Word.
Yeah.
Did you see the message from fandom?
Something from a popular fantasy series, the Stormlight Archives, which I'm familiar with. I have not read them though. I know that it's. I'll get to that in a second, but they could work. That could work really well in D&D. Is the old magic, which provides any boon but gives the person a curse to go along with that. Yeah, I mean, I love that idea. I've done. I love the idea of boons as rewards for my players, mostly just because like it gets monotonous, like that. Just every time you succeed at something, it's like, all right, here's like 100 gold, and you get a random magic item from this random loot table or something. Like I like to try to tailor their rewards best I can, especially thematically, and because the game is mostly story driven. I mean, you can take it as you'd like, but the boon that I gave Sirikaz clearly comes with a caveat. We now know, because you get a very powerful version of Hunter's Mark, which is awesome and very cool and thematic and fun and seems really cool. However, if you are unsuccessful at achieving your
completing the task.
Yes, exactly. Then you are. I mean, I don't want to say you're necessarily punished in too big of a way, but you are. You're affected. You know what I mean? Like, so. Well, ultimately, nothing really bad came of it.
But that was as
far as we know.
Tell that to Markroff.
Yeah, that was an interesting negative though, because I will say, like, I as a player and as kind of like a gamer, I love like boon. Like basically like plus minus systems where you can take faults to gain other things and vice versa, because they're almost always so easy to break wide open.
Oh yeah.
They're so hard to balance.
Yeah.
And in fact, Mercer's mutagenist or whatever it's called, Order of the Mutant, Blood Hunter, uses those where like you drink a potion and you get one thing plus and one thing minus.
Yep.
It's very cool. The problem is it's so easy to make a character that doesn't give a fuck about the minus, and so you just get the plus. And because of that, either the pluses aren't that exciting, and then you're taking a minus and you're not really getting that much, or the plus is too good because you've subverted the minus.
Right.
So they're just, I love them as players, but they're really hard to design.
Yeah, which is why I don't do them too often. It would be very rare that I try to do it a lot in the first campaign, and it just sort of ended up biting me in the ass. Because that's what happened. I learned a lot in our first campaign with this specific world that we've been playing in for the past 2 years or 2.5 years or whatever, however long it's been, since literally the beginning of the pandemic.
I just want to throw this out there. We're pretty close to the year mark of actually starting this podcast.
I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super tight. We should do something. We should do like a little, I don't know. I'd like to try it.
What if we
Hail Mary spell kiss, you guys?
Yeah, we like pretty crazy with kiss. No, I actually think I might want to try to figure out like a giveaway or something like that. That might be fun. We could do a little celebration there. What else? What else am I thinking? I don't know. I lost my train of thought because that was adorable. No, but yeah, I mean,
like I said, I like to give those out. It's a little bit more rare nowadays because I found that less is more in this sense. And when you can, as a dungeon master, really give a sense of narrative satisfaction, you don't necessarily have to burden yourself with trying to reward your players with actual like monetary or mechanical rewards, because I mean, every time they level up, that's already a reward. Like you're getting something just by leveling up.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're going to have the satisfaction of being successful in this arc and its endeavor. But if you've noticed, like, I mean, when they beat the big bad, they didn't get to loot the body. They didn't get to like really collect much of anything. But relatively, I mean, this is a slight spoiler, but relatively soon they will have opportunities to quote unquote be rewarded. But you know, I mean, like, now that we're sitting here and talking about like leveling up or whatever, like it's still, I don't know. Actually, I guess I'll pose this question to you guys. Like, do you feel, I'll take some feedback. Do you feel, I guess maybe successful might not be the right word because it's clear that you succeeded, but do you feel, what's the word I'm looking for, I guess?
I feel
fulfilled?
I feel like a story.
Sure, or just, or even just as a player, in general.
Like, I feel like the story has moved forward in a way that feels rewarding, at least to myself.
Cool.
And from Garrett, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Kaz, obviously, I know it's a completely different situation, but
I love
yes.
that we keep having this, like, I'm here's Stant just out of my reach the whole time. From a storytelling perspective, that shit rules. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Sal, you don't have to answer this, but I'm curious if that was the result you foresaw with regard to the hand, Eric becoming the hand. You don't have to reveal that if it's like a secret. I was curious.
No, actually, I can talk about that. I think that's fine. It is something that I had. So, putting Stant back into the story in this sort of second half of this arc was something that I was very interested in doing because I like the idea of, you know, just having that sort of, not ever present, but I just like the idea of interjecting that type of a situation already in a tumultuous state, and I think that worked really well for the tension and all that kind of stuff. And it was a nice little, I don't know how shocking it was, but it was a nice little moment for there. But
I was shocked.
Oh, cool.
You want to know who I thought it was going to be?
Who'd you think?
I thought it was going to be Harry.
Yeah, I wanted. That's what I wanted you guys to. Yes, good. I'm glad that you thought that. I wanted there to be a sort of red herring moment earlier in this arc where not earlier but like a few sessions ago when you were captured, Kaz. I wanted you to really be thinking that Stant was a part of that.
Part of me being captured?
Yes.
I actually never thought that.
Well, fuck me then.
Sorry.
Well, specifically because there was one, and I don't mind unless you just texted me something. Okay, word.
Yeah.
Specifically because, and I don't mind sort of revealing this, I went out of my way to make sure one of them never took off their helmet and it was hard to see their face. So I went out of my way to make him better with like a crossbow.
Is he the one that shot the priest?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But that was never Stant. I hope that what you didn't.
Well, that wasn't Stant.
That
You
was
wanted us
not
to think
Stant.
maybe it was.
That was not
See,
Stant.
it's too many layers.
So that was the thing. I just wanted.
I didn't even get it.
That's fine.
And you wanted me to think I got it.
Exactly.
And then not get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason that I contacted Stan, because I was like, there was a part of me that was like, I think Thorn fucking lied to me. I don't think this guy's here. I think he wanted to keep us here for his weird reasons.
No, he was very truthful about that. There were a lot of things that you guys did not get an opportunity to learn about Thorn, I'll say, for sure. But about that specifically, he was definitely being
We learned almost nothing about Thorn.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
And that's just a result of, unfortunately, there were some just unfortunate dice rolls like on the way that just sort of, there were good choice, not good or their choices are not good or bad.
Good choices.
They were choices. Yes. Well, there were always great character choices. There were, and I don't want to say choices are good or bad, but there were some unfortunate, unlucky moments in some choices that you needed, like you really needed the dice to be rolled well, and it just didn't work out. And it just, things just never came up, and certain things never got to happen, and you didn't, or whatever. And that's just the the name of the game for the most part.
And it should be that way.
Yeah, oh yeah.
One of the best things about like Fallout New Vegas is the fact that you can just miss out on a shit ton of content because you did one thing wrong or didn't have the right specs.
Or just did something different.
Yeah.
When it comes to Stant accepting the role of the Hand of Hell, that was definitely an option that I had like written down, and I was like, all right, well, if this doesn't have whatever. I did not expect you to be successful at keeping Marcroft from becoming that. I just didn't. But you rolled great. The suggestion spell worked despite
kept at it.
And you fucking made some really awesome charisma checks, and like it just worked really well. You succeeded really well at the grapple with the Tides of Chaos and all that shit.
And all that keeping at it gave Kill 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I just
got
was
in
like,
the arduous rally, all that
I'm
stuff.
just gonna sit here.
It was just a series of really fucking cool moments where I was like, I can't, like, you did it. It was fucking great. And I was just like, God damn, good shit, Jamie. That was really, really cool to see. And then I was like, yeah, now we can fucking bring Stanton here or whatever. But that's so funny because in the middle of it, I was like, I was entertaining the idea of just putting Harry in there anyways. Yeah. But then I was like, no, don't do that. Like, you went out of your way to make sure Harry was away from this situation, especially because, like, I don't know, there was something in me that I just didn't want to. I didn't want you to succeed one way and then be like, oh, well, fucking Harry's leaving, so what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, you just fail anyway.
Anybody doesn't really care if this town gets liberated or whatever. He just wants these two guys to fuck.
Yeah, which is great. So it's like, if you would have succeeded in that and I would have done that, you would have just failed, which is like, that's not fun. You know what I mean? That doesn't feel good.
Looks cool. You want to be able to have like the good ending that still has something bad happening.
Sure.
So like
that's what last arc was too. So which I like. You know what I mean?
It keeps the story going because if everything ends well,
then what's the point? Like, what do you guys do now? It's like everything's fine. I guess I'll retire. You know what I mean? Like, all right, sure. Game's over.
Having Stant come in, one gives everyone a reason to be like, oh my god, what?
Yeah.
But also it's like. One, it puts Kaz out of his comfort zone again, which is something that needs to happen every few episodes, really. I feel like I played him too comfortable with being captured, even though like I like the reasoning for it.
Well, like I feel like you would sort of come to like a certain like peace with it, like okay, like this is just what it is, and then to have it like reintroduced, it's kind of like open up the old wound.
Exactly. Because, like, obviously I'm dealing with my thing with Thorn, but now my old flame is back.
Yes. Yeah. My ex came back up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, cool. That's nice. It's good to hear that this all was a cool. Did it feel like a pretty cool progression in terms of, like, oh, okay, like we did that thing on the island, now we're like...
Yeah, I was into it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah. Me too. And
we're gonna get a downtime session.
You are gonna get a downtime session, which I'm very interested about. So, which actually, when you guys will have 2 weeks to think about this, because next week I will not be here. Once again, I'm actually going to be taking a trip to New York with my beloved partner. So I'll be gone next Wednesday. However, the plan tentatively is for us to run another one shot, which will take place in universe in the land of Petrichor, but not specifically with this particular party. I will not be here, however we're going to be running it in studio as well, and it'll be a lot of fun.
We're actually just going to talk shit about Sal live.
That would be fun.
All been a ruse.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Michaela's the ringleader of that makes sense for sure.
Of course.
But we are going to be returning to episode 28 of the Great Naledian Crown the following Wednesday after that, so that'll be in the beginning of August, I believe, at that point, right? Or is that the very end
It'll
of
be
July?
The end of July.
Just kidding, then.
Today, the 12th?
The 27th, yes. We'll be returning on the 27th for episode 28. So that's an easy way to remember that. So, yeah, you guys will have downtime. You'll have 2 weeks to think about that. It'll be... so there will be a scene that will essentially... that will walk through live on stream, because your downtime will be up until the point where you have to go to the meeting.
Yeah.
And we'll play that on stream, and then we will finish out the downtime. Because we have 2 weeks, probably what I will ask you guys to do is to write maybe two versions. One of like that meeting goes well and like you guys are rewarded properly and you have time to do whatever and you decide to go wherever. Or two, the meeting doesn't go too well and you're not like punished by any means, but like you kind of are like, you know, asked to be on your way and like you kind of just are left alone and you aren't, I don't know, or whatever. Just not saying that either of those things could happen or either of those things will happen. Just so we don't like sit there and like things don't go away that you planned on your downtime and you're like, well, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do now. You know what I mean? So just be slightly prepared for that.
Wait, what meeting we're talking? We're not talking about the meeting that happens after we leave town, are we?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because your downtime essentially would be like 4 days then.
So the downtime is including the trip to see the king.
Correct.
Gotcha.
But we're going to play out the trip on stream.
Okay, got it.
Rather than me just orating
So it's
your what
basically
downtime
what we do
happens.
up to the meeting, then after the meeting, there's a branch of good or bad, basically.
Possibly. I mean, I'm not saying that would be the case. I want you to just have both those things prepared so that in case that does happen, you were not just being like, oh, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, what else? Trying to think. Hopefully we'll have some of the illustrations and stuff ready to go relatively soon before I leave next week, just so we can get those uploaded rather to the Patreon. This Saturday, we will be going live for the podcast still.
Hell yeah.
I did
Get in your votes for either Monk or Paladin or whoever the fuck else you will.
Or I'll just delete some votes because I can do that.
Or get in your votes for Girls Kissing.
Girls Kissing.
I did put an emoji.
If you want us to break down Girls Kissing.
I will be voting for that.
I have a new subclass I'm going to reveal, which is the Oath of Girls Kissing.
Girls Kissing, yeah. The Oath of
or
Lesbianism, yes.
The way, or the way of the Girls Kissing, depending on if it's the monk.
Ooh.
You know.
Yeah. Yes, the monk, the way of the girls.
That's the monk and the paladin subclasses. I've been working on them at the same time.
The way of the big boobies.
Yeah. The way of the googling boobs.
The googling boobs.
Yeah.
The way of the awooga wooga.
This should be a bard subclass. The College of Girls Kissing.
The College of Girls Kissing.
Oh,
that's solid. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you vote on Discord, Eric. Just the Discord that you are, know about the entire time and never interact with or anything like that. But that's fine. I just like teasing him. He's so hilarious.
Vote for him.
Trust him.
Don't trust him. I don't trust him. That son of a bitch. No.
So now there's 5 votes for the Paladin.
Wow. Actually, I love that. I voted for Paladin. I don't care.
No,
I never vote because I'm true neutral.
I don't give a fuck. I'm chaotic, baby. Let's see what else. And then reroll is gonna happen as usual. I may or may not be making an appearance. I have an early flight on Wednesday morning, so I don't necessarily know how long I'll have to sleep. And I know Caitlin will probably want to get to bed early, so for now, I'm not going to be there, but maybe I'll make a surprise appearance, who knows. But we're still going to be running reroll as well, so if you have some questions or anything like that, make sure to, or if you think about those later, make sure to throw those in the Discord. We always love to talk about them there. And yeah, tune in next week for another one-shot. Last time it went very well, as far as I know, and very excited to eventually watch.
I watched all your podcasts. You didn't watch my one.
I'm getting there, my man. I'm getting there. I got other things going on. I'm in a show right now. I'm sorry. But no, tune in for that. We're very excited to be continuing to put in this content. And also, just for a little sneak peek, we may or may not be doing a little guest edition with another very cool Dungeons & Dragons content creator relatively soon. So be on the lookout for that. Some of our friends over at the what? Huh? Do you know what I'm about to say?
No.
Oh,
yeah, this is my anticipation.
This is very anticipatory. Yeah. Our friends. If you're familiar with the very popular TikTok account, Critical Failed DM, they run Curse of Strahd regularly, and their TikTok is very popular. They have many viral clips of them playing Dungeons & Dragons just sort of in their living room, and they do a live stream version of I don't know if they still run Curse of Strahd on the live stream or not, but the Dungeon Master Trevor, we've been in some contact recently, and we're trying to schedule a fun time for him to hop in and just sort of play as a guest on our stream. So
nice.
Look out for that. If that'll be happening, we'll make an announcement of that pretty soon, which I'm very excited about. He's very cool, very good dungeon master. Just very fun, very evocative, and what's the word I'm looking for? RP heavy as well. Hot. Yeah, also very hot. Yeah.
Sexy.
Oh yeah, their TikTok is just girls kissing. Pretty crazy. I don't know how it stays up. Anyway, so yeah, be on the lookout for all those things. We'll be announcing things here and there, and we're just super excited to have you guys here. So thanks very much. I think we'll probably wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
You guys are good? All right, cool. Practice safe sex. We'll see you later. Bye. Good shit, everybody.